What's up, everybody? Boy, I hope you had a good time with the Long Island CW Club. And don't worry, we got a couple of them. They're joining us on the after chat, so we're going to take your questions live about Morse code. Whatever it is, hit us with it. Hit us with the hard questions. We'll take them. And yet, we're going to be live to Discord, so make sure you avail yourselves of the links in the description. Join us on the Discord. You can ask your questions live on the air, or we'll take them on YouTube and Twitch and wherever the heck else we got this thing connected. But for those of you on X, I don't know why it's not connected. I got to sort that out. But the chat room is not a-flowing over there. So feel free to enjoy watching us on X, but also, if you want to ask a question, hop over on YouTube. How's it going, everybody? Appreciate you coming out. So, boy, I put that down as probably the best live stream we've done with the Long Island CW Club, no question. And I, frankly, am inspired by them in the evolution they've taken in not just having a clear knowledge of the people that they are teaching and their success, right? What works and some of the things that don't work, right? And then looking back into history, thanks to Mike and the research he did, and putting those two things together and look at what they're doing. Just amazing, amazing. I could wax and wane poetically about all of this, but I am going to join the Discord. We're going to go straight into it. We're going to take your questions live. I hope you enjoy the conversation. So here we go.
I went on a Bengali run for a while.
We're already talking about Bengali, so we must be in the CW location.
What's up, Josh?
That's Paul. How's it going, Paul? How you doing?
All right, bud. I'm doing all right.
So very excited. That was a fantastic live stream, and thanks everybody who followed us along to the Discord. So we do have Jim and Mike have joined us. They are in the chat. So I really just want to open it up. Let's just use the most, because we got started a little bit late. So let's take back some of that time. Who in the chat has a question about the Long Island CW Club or just CW in general? Let's throw it at Mike and Jim. Who wants to go first?
I just want to say it is fantastic that they've done this, and I'm not part of it, but I'm absolutely loving seeing what they're doing and how they're doing it.
I concur. Totally, Frank. I love the sentiment there.
Real quick before they get started, could Mike, I think it's probably Mike and Jim have open mics, if they could mute the live stream in the background.
Oh, yeah. If you have YouTube,
we're getting a fair amount of delay.
Yeah, if you have YouTube open, Mike and Jim, just pull up the YouTube website and mute the live stream, just so that we just want to not have any echo or anything like that.
Roger.
All right, let's do a comms check. We got Mike and Jim. Are you guys there? Can you hear me? Can you come back?
This is Mike.
DEW6JIM.
Right. Hey, out of here. All right. Oh, Mike has a reverb going on. So, Mike, are you? Let's see. Do you have YouTube open or the Zoom or anything like that? If you close that out, you'll be good.
Yep, just close that out.
Okay, perfect. Oh, yeah, now we hear you great. Hey, real quick question for Jim. Jim, whereabouts in California are you located? Are you your proper Six Land?
I'm in Walnut Creek, California.
Okay, that's up north, right?
Bay Area.
Yeah.
I'm about 20 miles east of San Francisco.
See, that's why you said you're an Elecraft guy. I knew there was a reason. You're right in their backyard, right? At least in California sense.
Yeah, I've been following Elecraft since they were the NorCal QRP club back in the 95, 96.
Do you have a lot of Elecraft radios?
Too many.
Do you what's your favorite Elecraft radio?
I mean, my favorite is my KX1.
I've got a KX1 too. I in fact, I'm expecting my care package from Tufton to show up with the internal LiPo battery and the little magnetic cover that he makes. Have you seen those?
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
I haven't seen it, but I also love my my K1. That K1 is a beautiful radio.
Yeah, that is a good radio as well. Very good. Okay, back to the Discord chat, and actually everybody, YouTube, wherever you're watching, if you have a question that we didn't get to cover, boy, we covered a lot. That feels like one of the most packed hours we've done in a while with the amount of details we covered. Hit us up. What do you, any questions you have on learning CW or just random questions about CW? Mike actually has a fantastic collection of Morse code keys. That was your collection, right, Mike, that I saw the pictures for?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that might have been somebody else then that got linked to me when we were on that email chain.
That was me. But
that's Jim's.
But don't say the word collection in front of my wife.
Okay, yeah. Don't have her in earshot of this live stream. But if you even have questions about keys or anything like that, hit us up. It's time. So let's go to the Discord first. Discord, do you have any questions for the fine gentleman we have from the Long Island CW Club?
Yes.
I heard a yes, quietly. Get a little closer to the mic and hit us with it.
Do you have a build club where you meet and talk about building keys?
Oh.
You want to take this, Mike?
Sure, Jim. We have a CW Makers class where they build all kinds of cool things.
Yeah, we even had a whole full-blown course on electronic theory. So
wow.
yeah, they're always doing something like that. And that lasted for 6 or 8 weeks, I think, maybe even longer.
And what have you built so far as a part of that group?
I personally haven't built anything with the group, but I upload all the videos for them and for the club, and I've seen them just go through project after project. They like to build a lot of QRP radios, so they've done a lot of those, and they've built keyers and oscillators and all kinds of different things.
Very good. I do have a question on the YouTube side before we go back to Discord. Does the LICW have classes/meetups convenient for West Coasters? It seems like there isn't much after 7 p.m. West Coast time.
Go ahead, Jim.
Oh, I was going to say that, I used to teach a class just for people getting home late after work on Fridays. That's how that my QSO protocol class actually started. I think I first started teaching it at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. But now we've kind of rolled that back. But yeah, we have classes that cover the whole schedule, the whole gamut from the morning until night. And as far as meetups go, you said about meetups. When you mean like personal face-to-face meetups, if that's what you're talking about, I'm actually one of the California representatives for meeting up and doing things. So like here in the Bay Area, I'll send out. I've actually created a little group of a kind of like a satellite LICW group, and we've encouraged members to do that throughout the United States and the world now. And so if like just recently. Well, maybe about a month ago, I sent out an email to the Reflector and said, "Hey, anybody in the California or the Bay Area, we're going to go out to see the USS Hornet over in Alameda."
Oh.
And about 5 of us met up, and we went out to the USS Hornet, and they let us operate their club station right from the USS Hornet. So we're always doing those kinds of things as well.
Let me ask you a question about the format of the website. So if I'm on there from the West Coast, is it showing me Pacific Standard Time for the time there, or is it based on Eastern Time?
It's all based off of Eastern Time, just to keep it simple for everybody.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like a lot of the classes like 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, which would be about 7 p.m. on the West Coast. But you can go to the website and they have different. I mean, look at the schedule, guys. Look at how deep the schedule goes. This is the whole month,
But
right?
I can tell you that if anybody ever asked Howard and said, "Hey, I'm interested in taking a class. I need something a little later on the West Coast," he would absolutely make it happen.
Yeah, guys, that's the other thing. Howard has reached out a couple of times and been like, "Hey, if you need, whatever you need, we can accommodate." That's kind of the cool thing about this group is that you can just say like, "Hey, I need more like a 9 p.m. West Coast," or if there's a group of you that are international, there's options for that too. So it's really a discussion based on communicating what you need, right? You guys are still on groups.io, or do you have other means of how you communicate with people?
Yeah, we have a groups.io site, and we also have a Discord site. So, but our main means of communication is through groups.io.
Yeah, so the groups.io, how's the best way to find that off the website?
I don't know if there's a link from the website, but I know that if you go on groups.io and just type in Long Island CW Club, or LICW, it'll pop right up.
Oh yeah, if you do like LICW groups.io, it'll come up. Like on
Yeah,
Google.
you know how in groups.io you can like search for groups and things, but just type in Long Island CW Club or LICW and it'll pop up. There may be something on the front of the website, but I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. So yeah, you can check it out that way. All right, let's go back to the Discord. Anybody on the Discord with any kind of question with Morse code or Long Island CW Club? Go ahead.
I had a question.
Go ahead, Paul.
Did you guys ever think of having any live classes earlier in the day for those of us who are retired and have a lot of time on our hands and want to learn CW, yet the 10 o'clock time frame or 9 o'clock time frame sometimes conflicts with things like VEing for the HRCC VEC group?
I believe we got some pretty early classes. Mike, do you have a schedule there?
Oh, yeah. Let me speak to the schedule for just a minute. We have beginner carousel 1, beginner carousel 2 classes every day of the week. And we try and scatter them from as early as 6 in the morning East Coast time to as late as 10 o'clock at night East Coast time. And when you're going to the beginners carousels, generally you only go to 1 or 2 of those a week. There's a lot of self-practice required. But once you get into the intermediate and advanced, we schedule different there. We schedule Monday through Friday at the same time. And what we have found is that the relationships built in a class like that, you mentioned you're retired, that's perfect. If you can go to a class Monday through Friday, or as many of those as you can, you build very strong relationships with the other students, and that seems to set up just an optimum learning environment. And so we call these the cohort classes. And so for each level of intermediate, 1, 2, and 3, we have a Monday through Friday cohort in the morning or midday and another one in the evening.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, a majority of us are retired who are in the club, a large group of us.
There you go. All right. Okay, back to the Discord, and I'll come back to YouTube or wherever. Go ahead, comment any questions for the LICW Club while we got them out here. We want to make the best use of their time possible, so if you have questions, go ahead and hit us up. Back to the Discord. You guys have any questions? Go for it.
Yeah, well, I've got one. So here we go on the money spending spree. Looking at, offline portable devices, I see, MCT73 in the chat. There's Morse Cerritos, Morse Monkey. Where should I go? I'm interested in something portable, no computers, no phones, just a device. Do any of these devices, stand out?
A device to get on the air, or a device just as an oscillator?
Purely as a training and learning tool.
You can include
Okay.
oscillator in that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
so-
there's a lot of things, a lot of apps. So first of all, you could find probably 100 different apps you could use on your phone. But that Morserino is pretty good because you know that's battery operated, it fits in the palm of your hand, and you can take that anywhere. So, and that has all kinds of training. I guess the apps or whatever you want, programs within that Morserino. So that's a good one. But I would before I'd spend the money on the Morserino, you might want to even just look on what you can get on the phone. Unless you're looking for something that really you can use with paddles, then that Morserino has got everything right there.
Yeah, and that's specifically what I'd be looking for is a hardware integrated, device that I can plug, a straight key in to learn and, paddles down the road likely. And not so much, a phone app that's too hard to interface to.
Mike,
then once you practiced on that Morserino, you can actually use it as a keyer later on for your rig.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mike, did you have anything to add to that? It sounded like you were going to say something for a second. Go for it.
Yeah, so that company CW Morse that makes the very inexpensive keys, they also sell some relatively inexpensive oscillators. I travel the world for my day job, and I carry an oscillator. It's called the UCPO Mark IV from a company called Phoenix. I think they're in Great Britain, and it's a great little oscillator. It sounds good. You can adjust the tone, the speed, and it'll work on both straight keys and paddles.
Oh, that's from Kanga. Yeah, I've got a number of their kits. Was this a kit build or is it fully assembled? I guess you could.
No,
get
I
either
know
one.
my limitations. I bought it fully assembled.
Yeah, they make a number of very good kits, actually, guys. If you're interested, Kanga Products is really, really cool, actually. So yeah, I totally support them. I built probably 3 of their kits so far. Good stuff. Love that. Good recommendation. Appreciate that.
Also, while you're driving down the road, I mean, I can't tell you how often I'm just driving down the road looking at street signs on the freeway, and just you see something and just sound it out, da 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 da. And you can that's a good way just to keep the code in your head. Using your voice, you don't even need to have an oscillator.
Jim, that's a fantastic point. I do that with license plates, street signs, when I'm on the freeway, all that. Yes, I love that. Yeah, really, really good tip there as well. Here's one that came in on YouTube. We'll take it live here. So this is actually really cool for a number of reasons, but I think Mike and Jimmy probably will know this, but who was the kid at the LICW booth that was just ripping CW copy on the computer?
That was Giannis, Yankee Oscar 8, Yankee November Sierra. He's 12 years old, and he is the world champion at high-speed telegraphy. And his father, Lucian, Yankee Oscar 8, Sierra Lima Charlie, is just a fantastic family. And we are becoming friends, and we'll be collaborating in the future.
So he is the #1 head copy of Morse code, because you can't write down how fast. Do you know how fast he can copy?
217 words a minute.
Oh, I hate him.
I don't even like that's like. So people tell you like you can't fathom how much $1 million looks like if you piled it up. Like at certain numbers, things just become insane. 215 words per minute. That kid is copying in his head. Sorry, what was
That's
that?
crazy.
Mike, go ahead. What was that?
217 words a minute, Josh. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I don't even know how a thing can produce code that's like it starts the logic of it starts to break down in my head. Like I get wavy lines when I'm thinking about it. But yeah, he and his family was all over. I saw him walking around Hamvention. Very impressive. That is an insanely impressive feat. And there are a number of people. This is actually a competition. And you'd be surprised how many people are into it. That is just high speed copy of Morse code. Insane. Yeah, that is insane. Yeah, exactly, Frank.
That is just wow.
Yeah, Very impressive.
I just saw a video of him on YouTube. From Dayton. I guess there was a CW Ops dinner, and they had him at their dinner. So if you can find that video, I don't have the link, but they have him sitting in front with a laptop, and when that he gets like call signs coming at him, or 5 characters, but when they come, it doesn't sound like, it just sounds like one long sound to me. It's just like a faster than a machine gun.
What was his call sign again?
Yankee Oscar 8, Yankee November Sierra. Giannis.
What's the CW ranking of that call sign?
I
Let's see
don't
if I
know.
can find it.
I bet it's in
I'm
the
looking too.
60s.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump into.
Let's see if I. No,
Hi,
that's
this is Steve.
not him. Hold on. Let's find.
Josh, 1 second.
Yeah, what's that? Go ahead.
I think I have it here. It's a 15-minute long video. I'll drop it in chat.
Yeah, see if you can tag me with where it starts. Oh, is this it? Oh, okay.
I'll scrub through it and find it.
Oh, John.
Oh, okay, good. Is that it? Hamvention? Great. Yeah, 8 days ago. That's perfect. Okay, let's go back to the chat then. By the way, everybody watching, if you put the word question in the chat or at Ham Radio Crash Course, I will see it. But I see there's a bunch of questions, but they're not in that format. So there's like so many people talking right now, I can't follow through with all of them. But Clint, I saw your comment. Thank you so much for the kind words earlier, Clint. Appreciate you. All right, let's go back to Discord. Who has a question for the Long Island CW Club? We would love to hear it. Anything CW related, even if it's like, hey, what radio should I buy for Morse code? I know you guys love that question. That's your favorite.
Well, I have a question, but it's not to do with Morse code or anything like that. Is that okay?
Well, it probably, let's wait until after, our friends here kind of hop off, and then we'll just take open questions at that point. Not CW related at all, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Oh yeah, hang on. Appreciate you coming out, but let's hang on for a second. So I guess then I'll ask the poignant question, or maybe let's just do this as an aggregate. With a number of the students that are getting proficient and making contacts, what do you find is like the radio that a lot of them are gravitating towards as far as CW operators in today's environment? Do you guys have one or two radios that you might point towards?
I don't think you can go wrong with that 7300, and I think probably over 50% of the QSOs I make on the air, they're using a 7300. So that just seems to be like a sweet spot there.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because if you think about, there's so much of radio that tilts towards single sideband, and actually now I would argue there's a lot of radio that is tilting towards connection to a computer for doing FT8. So you see like they all have USB-B connectors, like a printer type of cable, to be able to connect your computer to your radio. And that's kind of like where life is trending. It's trending towards that digital and single sideband. But then the CW side of it, I remember back when like people would complain about the relays of the radio. The relays were a problem, and they created these, weird artifacts on the air. So is there any radios to avoid, or 7300 obviously is a good pick. Any others that you might recommend for people? Maybe even older radios that are used that might be good for folks that are going to be focused on CW.
Well, Josh, the POTA is really driving a lot of the youth coming into the hobby and into CW.
Yep.
And the guys doing that, a lot of them are using the QRP Labs rigs, then the Elecraft KX2, KX3, or the ICOM 705.
Yeah, those are all really good radios. Relatively expensive, though, being QRP, but I got to tell you, I have a KX2. That's my backpacking buddy. I love that radio. I take it with me often just when I'm hiking around or just even in town because it's just a great radio. And then the 705 it feels like it's a 7300 that fits in the palm of your hand. So I agree with that completely. Here's a question over on Discord. Is there a low-intensity CW competition on HF a newbie could get involved with?
Well, yes.
Go ahead.
I know you guys were you're champing at the bit on this one. Yeah, go for it.
I'll mention a little bit of it, and Mike, maybe you could fill in what I don't say. But there's a contest, a friendly contest called the SST, Slow Speed Test. It's, if you've ever heard of the CST by CW Ops, that's the high speed CW. They do a 1 hour sprint 3 times a week. But this is a slow speed. It's 20 words or less. I know that Howard, whenever he operates it, he never goes above 13 words a minute. And the exchange is really simple. It's just your name and your state. And that's all. That's the simple exchange. And that's run by a radio club called K1USN. And if you go to their website, you'll find more information about the times and the dates that they have that. Mike, any more information on that SST?
Yeah, very, very popular, and it runs twice a week. I think Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern, and then Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And our Carousel 3 spends a considerable amount of time preparing students to operate in that event.
There you go. Shout out to K6ARK. He's in the house, our good buddy. He mentioned the same thing, CW Ops Slow Speed. That was something I noticed. There was a couple of people in the chats who were like, "Oh, well, CW Ops, does this kind of thing and that kind of thing." One of the things that I love about CW and the community that's built around it is that, like, you guys are so inclusive of every way of learning. Because you guys are supportive of CW Ops and other things, particularly different types of events they do. Would you find that it's just kind of this inclusive community as well, that you can just it's welcoming to people starting out? And what do you feel about the other efforts that people are doing out there?
I'm a member of CW Ops, and those are my friends. I respect that club very much.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
And also I want to say the SKCC, CW Ops, NAQCC, and us, we're all, I think we all have the same goal, and we want more CW operators on the air. Yeah. And we want to let people know that they can have a lot of fun with CW, and so we're all aimed in the same direction, and we all belong to multiple clubs like that.
I think that's the big takeaway, is that people learn differently, and it's okay to have a particular way you learn. But we should support all these efforts. They're all good efforts with good people that are driving the continuation of the art of code forward, and that's important. I think everybody really appreciates that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just CW clubs across the ham radio clubs across the country that have like CW training programs of their own. So everyone's doing their own thing and working towards the same effort.
Now that I think about it, what is it? Is it Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve where they do the straight key night? Is that which day is that?
That starts on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
And it starts with the straight key night, and then it continues on with the SKCC K3Y event, which goes for the whole month.
Yeah, so that's a fun day where you start out completely sober, and then as you get closer to midnight, that would be me, where the fist starts getting a little sloppier.
It gets sloppier and sloppier for sure, but everyone's having a lot of fun. You get people that come out on straight key night. You got people coming out that haven't been on the air for maybe years, or maybe they just wait once a year to get on the air, and it's just all about just making a contact and just go slow, take it easy, and just have fun.
Maybe that's what I'll do this year. We'll see how the progression into madness my fist gets as I get further into the evening. So,
hey, Josh, just so you know that I've officially been assigned by Howard to be your CW tutor. Anytime you want any help at all,
excellent.
I'm at your beck and call.
Oh, I love it. Okay, well now you're in trouble. See, that's well, look for me tomorrow on Parks on the Air activation, where I'm going to try and do some CW. So appreciate you.
I'll put you into my. I think I've got you in my ham alert already. So if you're on, I'll catch you.
Excellent. So you're yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Building on that last point of openness and cooperation with other clubs and whatnot. Every Thursday night is SKCC night, at LICW, we actually have SKCC board members come and help our students and teach them all about the SKCC and the protocols and getting them on the air. So that's just a fantastic organization as well, and we cooperate.
I love that. I love that. There you go, guys. Consider that. Like, this is a group of people that's working with other groups, and they're all together in this concept of, like, figure out what gets you on the air. That's what they care about. That's the focus, right? You heard it from them themselves. So there you go. All right, question. Are decoders and encoders like FL Digi has a Morse code encoder a crutch that will prevent development, or will it help one get started in hearing it?
I've never seen anyone progress using a decoder.
Yeah.
It's just not going to. A decoder is a visual tool, and Morse code is an oral art. And just, if you want to get better, put that thing away, and we'll get you there.
Yeah.
And so the answer is crutch. Nothing can decode better than the human brain.
That's a really good point, because, again, everybody listening, do remember computers are really good at listening to computers and decoding computers. The fist of the human is going to add complexity to your decode app that it might not be able to work around. So the decoder can, in some cases, actually screw you up more, because you might be dealing with somebody that, might not be a strong CW operator, that you might be able to hear them easier and copy them than the decoder can actually do. So think about that. I think Adam was helping this individual out, but W6AMO says, question, why isn't 2-meter CW more popular? Before I got my general, I was starting to get interested in CW, and as a tech, I was looking at 2 meter as an option, but it never seemed to have any activity. Well, line of sight's going to be your biggest problem, but do you guys participate in weak signal Morse code at all in your areas?
I went through a phase where I was trying to do 2 meters CW, and I got a horizontally polarized antenna. I think it was a Moxon or something. Yep. And I just could never hear anybody. I was searching and searching, but I just couldn't hear anybody. Now I don't have a big, the guys that do that, on a regular basis. They have the really high antennas and high towers and things. And I got a little tower. I got a tower kind of like you have on your house, Josh. It's like a 4-foot. I just never heard anybody. So I tried it for about a month, didn't hear anybody. Then I just went back on to HF. How about you, Mike? You ever tried that 2 meter stuff?
Yeah, I wish Howard was on. We ran, I guess, for a couple of months, a CW over repeater class. And we had a lot of fun with it, but it just didn't end up being that popular.
Yeah, we were using, what's that program? Is it not WinLink, but it's like that thing where you can use the internet to get into a repeater.
I think
what's that called? Echolink.
Echolink.
Yeah, and so sure. we would find a member, and he'd say, hey, and we'd say, is it okay if we use your repeater? And we would all kind of log in, and then we were doing CW that way. But that's not the same as the question actually. And some of the repeater owners kind of got. They got kind of frustrated that we were here. What's all this noise on our repeater? But we're like, at least we're using it. Yeah, that lasted for a few months.
I like that. That's cool. All right, let's go back to the Discord. Anybody in the Discord, go for it with your CW questions for the Long Island CW Club.
Yeah, this is Tom, AF7J.
Is that Ham Radio Hobo? Go ahead. Or
yeah, I posted a picture on Discord of the key that I bought off of Amazon, but I could never get it to work. And I know the picture shows it unplugged, but when I had it plugged in, I just couldn't get any tone on either side of the paddle. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Everything works. It looks like it works, but it doesn't want to generate a tone.
So I think you got to post it in the hashtag live-stream chat. Wherever you post it, it's probably not the right place because I don't see it. With that said, if you want to see some very pretty keys, our buddy Rolla's in the house with the Rolla key. That thing is awesome, and I got to see one of those in person at Hamvention, which is just beautiful. So if you want to join us on the Discord, go to hashtag live-stream. It's Well, actually, everybody on the Discord, go ahead and share pictures of your keys at this point. Why not? Let's go nuts. So let's do that.
Hey, Josh, I found the link to that high-speed, that boy that does high-speed telegraphy, but I'm not sure, where do I drop it in this?
You
Josh,
want
you have
to
it.
copy and paste in hashtag live-stream, but I think Frank already dropped it. So I'm gonna I have
Oh,
it
did he get
open.
it?
Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
did.
it's
So
It
already
says
in
Giannis
too.
demonstrating high-speed CW reception at CW Ops.
yeah, I'm
Is that the
scrubbing it.
title?
Yeah, I'm scrubbing it right now. So you'll have to watch me on the live stream, and there's going to be a bit of delay, but I want you all to check this out. Okay, so let me pull up the web scene. So this is from N2YO, which I don't know.
Yeah,
I know-
that's it.
N2YO. I know. Is he the satellites guy? Is that the same thing as the website? Is that N2YO?
I don't
Anyway.
know who he is.
Okay, here we go. Ready, everybody on the everybody on the YouTube and Twitch and everybody that's watching me live, you're going to be able to hear it. Discord, you're not going to be able to hear it. So just FYI, I'll drop the. Well, hold on. Let me just share you the link with the timestamp. All right, here you go. That's the link if you just want to watch where I'm at, and mute your audio, and that'll be great. So here we go. Everybody on the live, get ready.
There's some, okay, so we can switch the inputs, okay? Get ready. Don't try to sneeze. You can breathe later. So, okay, that's exactly the screen there. And it's hard to tell, I mean, I don't know if you guys in the back can see, but we're gonna translate the numbers later. He's gonna play a little bit. So basically this is a roof set that sends calls at very high speed. The one on the left is what the computer sends. The one on the right is what he's receiving. And right now, that's 1,030 characters per minute. That's about 220 almost words per minute. So the computer sends 50 call signs, and then after that it gives you a report of what's going to happen.
The octave's changing.
So far, for example, I don't know if you guys in the back can see, he copied 36 out of 50 call sign. Out of those 36, you got about...
All right, we'll pause it right there. So that's crazy with the octave changes. I don't even know what that's about, but notice one thing. I thought that was kind of interesting. He's like finger pecking the keys, and he's still faster than everybody on CW. Is that interesting?
That was just wow.
Yeah, he's probably not the fastest typer in the world, but his ear can just, that he can pick that up is just amazing.
It's incredible. It's incredible. That's amazing. I don't even know what it literally sounds like a modem screaming at me if I was dialing into AOL from the 90s. I don't even I can't even register most of those noises. That's impressive.
I mean, that's faster than RTTY, I think.
Oh yeah, probably. That's wild. Yeah, if you look at it that way. For sure.
Someone in chat said, sounds like he's decoding the internet. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, he's at 56K baud rate. That's right. Very good. All right. Okay, so who else in Discord has a question? Go for it.
I have another question.
Yeah, Paul.
What's the success rate, or do you have any data? What's your success rate for people who've had brain injuries or, some kind of neurological impairment?
We don't have any data to support that because we just don't have a large enough sample of students that would fit that category.
Anything anecdotally?
I can tell you on my side that anytime we have anybody coming in that's, I know I worked with somebody who had PTSD, and of course we've talked about the person we worked with that had autism. So whenever we have somebody that needs a little extra help, we got a ton of instructors that might have, familiarization with that or be familiar with that a little bit. And and everybody wants to help. So we'll always make time and extra time for anybody who needs a little extra help.
Thanks.
So, Paul, I heard you were potentially getting your application in to join them. Or are you?
Join. I've been a life member since you became a member.
Well, wasn't that? Oh, it's a different Paul. No, it's a different Paul.
That was
Other Paul.
That's okay. The other Paul. The other Paul. Are you in the chat? Are you here?
Yeah.
What are you excited about?
Well, I was looking at the CW Academy, and you know how they have all the scheduled meetings and everything, and I could never do that with my job. So
right,
I had printed out their just study sheets, practice sheets. It starts with TEA, I think. And I was thinking I could do that, but it's just so difficult. So I did have a question, and since we're asking Paul's, if I could ask for someone who travels, a couple of times a week and can't necessarily be there every class meeting. That was kind of my issue with CW Academy. Is there like homework? Is there what would you be able to do for somebody, or what would they need to do to stay on top of, say, that week or two's classwork?
I travel the world for a living, and I never had any trouble attending classes at LICW. We have beginner classes every day of the week, and we scatter them in time. So if you could just find one class, if you're at the beginner level, I don't know, it would only take one class a week, and you don't really learn in the class. The class is where you learn to learn and learn to practice productively. And then a lot of the learning occurs at home, at your own time, at your own pace. So as long as you can find one class a week at the beginner level, you'd be just fine.
Okay, sounds great.
That's my favorite thing to really preach about the club is that, like Mike was saying, you learn to learn, but you do learn. I think isn't it 3 characters for each session? I think we teach you, and all the classes that same week will be on the same program. They're all teaching those same characters. So if you can catch anything during that week, you'll get those 3 characters. You practice them till the next week, and then the next week, say the first week you took a class on a Monday. The next week, maybe you want to take a class on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. At any time, they've all moved on to the next set of characters. So now you can take that anytime. So, it's really the most flexible program I've ever experienced. So, where, like you said, CW Ops is a wonderful program. Sure. And it's if you want to be set in, some people have the time and they're at home and they need to make the time and they need that discipline. We're kind of more relaxed and more flexible. So that's just the way we work, and very, very flexible. We could work into anybody's schedule.
So
that sounds perfect.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you providing your feedback there.
Yeah,
so,
I still haven't gotten accepted, so could you guys hurry up? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Howard's funny. Howard's in the chat right now. We'll see if he's live updating the membership.
I wanted to mention that I was at Dayton. I was talking to Ellicraft, and I said, hey, whenever you want to, I know a lot of people like that KH1, and they might not know that it's CW only, but they still want to get it. So send them over to us, and we'll teach them the CW. You'll sell more radios, and we'll get more members. And he said, and the guy I was talking to said, oh, well, how long is your waiting list? And I said, what are you talking about? He says, how long does it take to get into a class? And so that's the magic of our club is there is no waiting list. As soon as you join, the day you join, you can start taking a class. There's no start time. There's no end time. You're not assigned to an instructor. You're not assigned to a particular class or time. So that's how it works.
So that's actually let's go back a step and clarify that a little bit. So let's say you're a stark beginner. You have no concept of Morse code. You join Carousel 1, and let's say you're one of those people like I am with a chaotic daily, weekly schedule. You got to take kids here and there and all that stuff. So what happens when you're learning the characters? What happens if you can't follow that standard that you start with the cohort or whatever you call it? What do you do if you can't stay within that group as far as learning the characters in some kind of order? How's that work?
Well, the there is no order per se, because
Okay.
Carousel 1 has 6 lessons, and you can start on any of those 6 lessons. So that's not a problem. And if for some reason there's a week and you're on vacation and you can't go at all, well, you can just pick up the following week with the next group of characters, and the carousel will continue like that.
Okay, very cool.
And if you're having and if it's not enough a one time around, you just stay on that carousel. Just, you go through it 2 times, so you go through it 3 times until you do pick up all the characters you need. And then whenever you feel comfortable, you move on to the next carousel.
Oh, I see. So so the takeaway there is you could potentially learn some of the characters out of order, but you just kind of take another lap or another half a lap, and you got them at that point, is basically what you're saying, right? And there's no negative to it from your point of view.
No, and there are a lot of ancillary support classes as well. We have instructor guided practice. We have beginner sending classes. We have independent practice classes. So we encourage you to, in the classes, find a CW buddy, somebody that shares your schedule and your goals and whatnot. And then inevitably, if you can practice with that person, that they help motivate you and get you to the classes and whatnot. So it's not just a matter of going to one beginner class. There are ancillary classes to help. And then again, the goal of that class is to teach you how to practice productively so that you can put in the time at home.
And we also have a lot of time in our schedule for open practice. So say you take a class, you're working on 3 characters, and then you might want to meet a buddy of yours and say, hey, let's go to this practice, open practice room, and we just practice together. And I can tell you that one of the best things I ever did was the first year I was in LICW, I met up with another guy who we became good friends. He lives out in Tennessee. I never met him in person, but we are good friends. And we met every day in an LICW practice room, and we just practiced sending back and forth to each other. And if the room was busy, we just got on his Zoom, or I got on his, or he got on my Zoom. And just having that, you make friends, you work together, you kind of support each other, and just that back and forth practice with each other just is wonderful.
I like it. Let's see. There was a comment in there. Oh, shoot. I lost it. That's what happens with YouTube. The chats goes by so fast.
And don't forget that CW is the most fun you can have in ham radio. I just want to make sure everyone
There you go.
knows
There
that.
you go. Make sure you tell everybody that. Yep. Let's see. Oh, I think I missed it. Yeah, the questions are open on the YouTube and Twitch side or wherever you're at, so feel free to dive in there. I figured since everybody was showing off their keys, I would grab what I think is a pretty rare key. This is the Palm CW key straight key. No, this is the straight key. The Palm Radio straight key. This is a fairly rare key. If you ever have seen one of those before, they're hard to get. So if you want to follow us on Discord, people are showing off their keys right now. So if you want to join the club, go ahead and drop an image. Ham Radio Hobo, we saw your images, buddy. You made it in there. So he had asked earlier, like, what's going on with my key? It doesn't work at all. To be honest with you, your wiring looks like it was done correctly. So you might want to check continuity with a multimeter on where all your points of contact are connecting and see how that goes. And then change your CW modes in your radio and see if that helps at all. And of course, make sure you're set to paddle versus straight key. I don't know what kind of, you didn't mention radio, so hopefully it has an inbuilt keyer, because if your radio doesn't have a keyer, that won't work very well. So, yeah.
Where do we drop those pictures, Josh?
Hashtag live-stream. Oh yeah, Jim, hold on to your collective butts. Jim might drop some bangers here for you if you like CW keys. He's got some good ones. But yeah, hashtag live-stream is the text chat. If you hit the little plus sign, you can select all kinds of images from wherever you point it. You can share all the images you like, and then I'll pull them up on the live stream chat for everybody. on the live stream here.
Exactly where you just dropped the link to, Jim. Right in that same chat.
So let's see. Go back to the Discord. Anybody have any questions? Anything else we can ask or answer from the Long Island CW Club? They're here. They want to hear from you, so go for it.
Hey, I have a question real quick.
Go for it.
Is there anything in the LICW website about, since you encourage using of straight keys, about arm fatigue, or at least even with paddles using with arm fatigue? And because I know some people, it's like, I've seen videos where they have setups where they can the armrest. So once you become more proficient, the more you're going to use it, but the more chance you're going to have a problem, like your arm's going to get tired.
So the beginner sending classes aren't so much about sending. They're really foundational in that it teaches you how to address the key, your arm placement, the actual operation of the key. And then, of course, you get into the sending. So you'll receive training in that regard.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I want to say too that I was trying to get this award by the SKCC called the Marathon Award. You have to do 100 1-hour QSOs. And after I got into about my third or fourth one, my arm felt like it was going to fall off. And I realized that's when I moved over to the bug. And the bug is a way, it's a semi-automatic. With the SKCC, Straight Key Century Club, they require you to use a manual key or a semi-automatic key, and no keyers or paddles allowed. So a bug is a wonderful way to be able to send manually, and your arm's just laying on the table, and it's just your wrist doing all the work, kind of like a paddle.
Yeah, so the bug is where what's semi-automatic, that's the dashes are, or you have to form the dits. Sorry, the dashes are manual?
Yeah, the dits are automatic. They're automatic, and the dashes, you could hold the dash just like pushing on a straight key as long as you want.
It's a straight key, basically, the dashes, right? Is that how that works?
That's correct.
Okay, gotcha.
That's correct.
You have to form the straights, but you have to form the DAWs, but the dits are based off the pendulum motion at spring.
Yeah, it's based off the pendulum motion, and the pendulum motion is based on where you have the weight, and the weight you can slide it up or back to go faster or slower. I'm going to drop a link to my bug, some of my bugs there too, so you can take a look.
Yeah, drop the images, because the bug is a wild contraption. I've only tried them once on the air, and it almost felt like I was doing CW with a southern accent, is what it felt like. Oh, so Jim just dropped an entire photos gallery, and I'll pull it up right now so you guys can see it. This is pretty impressive. Drop your collection there, and I'll pull them up there, Jim. So look at this, okay. Jim. Look at all these beautiful. Go ahead.
Yeah, I dropped the collection higher up. Above there was my other keys that I sent you a little bit higher up.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's 743.
There it is. Got it. So take a look at. John. Nope, wrong one. Okay. Take a look at this. There we go. So these are some of Jim's keys. He's got some professional photography done here. Look at this. Look at all these keys. And honestly, I have to say, there's a very, very cool aspect of amateur radio where you can collect these keys. There are people who collect military keys, like the flameless keys, the bathtub key, so many things you've heard from like use in military that have sustained value. Like these are actual collector's items. They're basically antiques in a lot of cases. And so you can see some of these.
I told my wife it's an investment,
I think it is. IRA. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's like a usable investment, almost like a car, almost like a vintage car, if you're into that kind of thing. That red one is the side swiper that you got, that red one that's all anodized. Where is that from? That red one, the single paddle?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was not CW Morse, but it was a little company like that somewhere on the internet, and it was sold as a kit.
Is that like American Morse company or something like that?
I think that sounds familiar. I think might be American Morse.
I had my eye on that key.
American Morse Equipment. They're up in San Luis Obispo.
AME, yeah, yeah. I don't know if they are the ones with that one, but those are cool keys. Yeah, there's some. How old is the oldest bug you have in your collection?
I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I'm right-handed. But when I started learning to send CW, I learned backwards because I didn't have anybody to teach me. So when I use a bug, bugs are right-handed or left-handed. So I'm right-handed, but I use a left-handed bug. So it's hard to find left-handed bugs, and I think I've got the oldest one that I've ever met so far, that of anyone I've ever met, and it's a 1916 Vibroplex. That's my it's in that other file, but so that's the oldest one I have, is a 1916 Vibroplex left-handed bug.
Your little
But
tiny.
there's other ones out there.
They're your little tiny red anodized key, the straight key. Also very jealous of that one. That is a cool looking key.
That's
I mean,
a
all
fun
of them are
little
great.
key.
All of them are great. And there's a Bengali straight. Oh, that Bengali straight's really nice. Look at that. How much does that Bengali straight key weigh? Like 15 pounds?
Oh, yeah, about 25 pounds. It doesn't move anywhere.
I love that. I have a personal question for Mike. Mike, you still there?
Yeah.
So you travel all over the country, if not the world. Do you find much time to actually activate when you are portable in those situations? And if you do, what kind of radio are you taking along? What's your kit look like? I'm always interested in this because I travel a lot too.
So I fly mostly international, and of course, when you're international, unless you've got permission, you can't emit RF.
Mm-hmm.
So when I operate internationally, what I do is operate my home station remotely, and that's why I bought a Flex radio originally.
Gotcha. So what do you do for CW with the Flex? How's that work out?
Well, actually, that's how I learned about LICW. That's how I met Jim. I was on my first trip. I was heading over to Asia. I was stopping in Alaska, and I got on the Flex and met Jim, and he sent me a QSL card inviting me to join the Long Island CW Club. We could have a complete different show on operating remote CW. And the bottom line is, if you're willing to use a keyboard, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
But if you're wanting to use your own key, it adds a complete level of complexity to the equation.
Yeah, we should probably do that since I'm gonna have a Flex radio here in my lap sometime in the future. But yeah, that's generally been my experience, is that so you can copy the CW to your heart's content. The Flex radio, many options do that to great degree. But if you want to use a physical key when you're portable, that really does add a lot of complexity, doesn't it?
And you need a piece of hardware to help. And now it's not just Flex. I mean, Elecraft's about to release their new version. I think they call it the K-Pod.
Mm-hmm.
And that serves as the interface to allow you to use your hardware solution to send CW on the road with your own key.
Yeah, I'm real excited about that. I'm waiting for that K-Pod to come out. I was talking to Eric about it just at Dayton, and I got this K4, and he even told me, we're coming up with this thing with the K-Pod where you'll be able to use a straight key or paddle, a bug. I don't understand all the technical things behind it, but I guess the big limiting factor was the delay, right? And they've found a way to overcome that delay.
Yeah. And the solutions that I normally use are you have to have a pair of keyers, one with you on the road and one at home that can connect on the internet and a client-server relationship. I've traveled with the WinKeyer from K1EL, but my favorite is the Bengali CW machine. You carry one with you on the road, you leave one at your shack, and then those two keyers start talking to each other, and that's how you end up doing it.
Do you do that over VPN or some kind of like IP connection, or how does that work?
that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I figured. Okay. So we're going to...
You're going to learn about VPNs and port forwarding, and it's mind-boggling.
I'm already there with my background in engineering, but yes, I imagine that's what that'll turn into. Very interesting. So yeah, we'll probably be talking in the future for sure, I imagine. But yeah, I got to ask Jim, what the heck is is that an omnigraph? What is that last picture in your collection of keys? It almost looks like a typewriter wheel that is horizontal and it's discs. What is that?
It's a I've actually got I've got a little YouTube channel, and I've got a video of that thing actually operating, and it's an old fashioned Morse practice machine, and you would wind it up with a key, and then that thing in the middle it's actually a series. I think it's 5 or 6 or 7 discs, and that little a little thing will run along the side of it, and it makes contact whenever it hits all those bumps on there, and it actually sends words to you. So it's pretty weird. I found it actually on Craigslist over by my house here.
Wow. Yeah.
Had no idea what it was exactly when I saw it, and then the thing actually works.
And it's purely mechanical. That's all mechanical?
It's all mechanical. I could drop a link to the video if you want to watch it to spin.
Do it. Yeah. Drop it. Let's take a look at it.
I'll find it here and drop it in there in just a second.
To subscribe to your channel. That'd be great. That's excellent. Yeah, so much CW stuff. We never really dipped into it, but there's some good reasons to go CW if you're particularly like a new ham, particularly getting on HF. What are some of the advantages of going CW that you guys like when you talk to people? Like, what do you say?
Well, the guys that are working parks and summits on the air, that's driving a lot of the resurgence. And CW is such an efficient mode. If you're going to be climbing a 14,000-foot mountain, you don't want to be carrying a computer and a big radio, and so you can operate with a small rig and a compromised antenna and really get out there by using CW. So that's one thing. It's very efficient.
Yep.
You know what got me into also is that whenever you want to build, if you're into kit building, most of the kits that you can build that are affordable are CW kits. And that's kind of what got me into CW. Is I was really into building kits when I first became a ham. And I built this thing, and I said, well, now I got to learn how to use CW so I can use it. And it's like Mike said too. You can have it's like a flashlight versus a laser, right? Same amount of power, or even much less power, but you're so focused that you can just really get out. And it's not very often that you really need to bump your power up too high. You can really reach with CW.
Yeah, I think that
you can really cut through all that QRM and all that noise, on the air.
Yeah, K6ARK is in the chat, and he's like, also, reverse beacon network spotting is like cheating. See, that's something, guys, that are watching us. You're all, let's say you're a single sideband operator. You can get self-spotted on the reverse beacon network when you're doing POTA, and it will spot for you. You don't even need a connection to the internet or anything like that. It'll do it for you. You do have to make an alert beforehand that you're going to be out there. At least I think that's how it used to be. I don't know if they bypassed that now, but yeah, just imagine that. You just say, hey, I'm going to be here tomorrow. And then you boop, 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 key up and give. I think you got to do CQ POTA a couple of times, and then you give your call sign a couple of times, and it'll spot for you, which is pretty awesome, particularly if you're low power. So I love that. All right, chat on the Discord. Let's go. Hit the questions. You got them? Let's take them.
I dropped that OmniGraph video.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want to check that out.
I will. I'll pull that up right now. Go ahead. Questions. Anybody in there? Let's take them.
Got a question.
Go ahead.
It's just asking about CW and dyslexia. I'm dyslexic, and I've noticed I get a lot of characters backwards, like K and R, A and N, and so on, like those similar characters. And I was wondering if a lot of people have that trouble, or if that's specifically me being dyslexic and extra hard.
I actually talk about this whenever we give our talks to the different clubs. And what I like to say is that whenever someone comes to me when I'm teaching CW class, and they say, "Hey, I'm just what you said. I'm mixing up similar characters that are similar, like an R and a K, da-da-dit and da-da-da, which are completely opposite of each other."
Right.
I actually get excited and I'm happy. And they say, "Well, why are you happy? I'm messing it up." Yeah, you're messing it up, but you're messing up your brain is starting to file these things in the right areas. It's filing completely opposite characters together. And it's something that everybody goes through. And it's something that everybody works through. And so that, no, I don't see that as a problem at all. I see that as actually showing me that your brain is starting to file these things away in the right place.
You know what?
Thank you.
What's interesting about that question is I actually don't know that anybody has done anything on dyslexia and Morse code. So I know, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, dyslexia is where you transpose characters and sometimes words in some cases, or they'll have a completely different spelling, even though it's the same meaning that you think you're saying. I don't know that Morse code is the same way. I don't know that it works the same way, but it says you transpose. You said you transpose some of the characters. Is that basically the what you're experiencing?
Yeah, kind of. Just for me, dyslexia kind of comes in a few different shades. But for me, it's I get either letters backwards, like just in order, or I'll add a letter to a word, or numbers backwards.
So my oh no, go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
Is that when you're writing it down on a paper, or when you're like when does that present itself?
Writing down mostly, but also just mostly writing down and stuff. I'll get characters backwards, which I've experienced while doing POTA and stuff on single sideband and whatnot. But I just was curious if you guys had experience with that.
Well, I haven't. I mean, like I said, I've had experience with people getting characters backwards that are similar characters in when they're sending the code. But if you can imagine, because you're going from your mind mostly to your hand, right? So if you're spelling the word in your head, and then it's coming out as code in your hand on your key. So I mean, I don't think that would be a problem because you're not really writing it out, and you're expressing the letter in a different way. So I think it would work. And if you needed extra help, I would be actually happy and even interested to work with you on that.
There's awesome dyslexia as well. You know, you can be dyslexic just because you're having difficulty processing things. A lot of dyslexia is visual in nature, and if yours is visual and it's causing you problems with CW, then it's because you're writing it down. And I think you should come join us and learn how to head copy, and you might find that will address your issues.
You know what's interesting is, yeah, I'm curious actually is where the dyslexia comes in is when you're writing it down. That's the curiosity
actually,
as well.
What I was going to ask was, have you been tested for dysgraphia, which is slightly different, but it's my son has this where, like, he can spell a word, he can he can spell it out vocally, but writing it on paper is when he gets it jumbled up, and it's been characterized as dysgraphia.
Huh.
I have not, but I also can't spell my way out of a paper bag, let alone probably spell the word bag. So
don't feel bad. I can't either.
Yeah, no, but I appreciate it. I wanted to ask my question real quick. I got to put my son to bed.
Right,
I'm a member of the Long Island CW Club. I lifetime member now. I've probably been to 2 classes though, so I want to make it to more though. But my little 3-year-old here makes it difficult.
No, hey, buddy, I tell you what, I know what that's like. I hear you. Hey, you know what?
And contact me, W6JIM. I'm good on QRZ if you want to do a little practice on the side, and we can work through it too.
So
awesome, thank you. Yeah, I'll try to shoot you an email.
You know what's
Have
crazy?
a great night, guys.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I was trying to talk over you there. I apologize. But yes, please enjoy the time with your child. Make sure they get to bed safely and soundly. There's please enjoy that while you can, that they actually want you to hang out with them when they go to sleep. Okay, so You know what we didn't
Well, maybe-
hit? We did. Hold on. Actually, Mike, go ahead, and then I'm going to take my. Yeah, then I'll take mine. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, sorry, Josh, but I just want to comment on dyslexia and Morse.
Yeah.
I also suffer with that, and what I find is that after I get past 3 characters, I can no longer remember what the original one was. So I have to write it down. And what I found that actually worked for me was to not put any spaces in it. Just write what you hear. I know that slows you down, but later you've got a minute or two after you've received it to put the spaces in. Because if you try and put the spaces in while you're receiving it, you miss a character trying to put the space in.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So you just write the whole lot down, and that's how I was actually taught by the people who taught Marine Morse operators back in the day.
Okay.
And that was one of the things they told me to do. Unfortunately, I never finished. I passed. I got good enough to pass my test, but never continued with it, and it's one of my great regrets that I never continued with Morse. But
It's never too late.
Oh, it's never too late, and I'm a big fan of you, Jim. I comment on all your videos, so thank you very much, Jim, for the really good 10 Tech videos, because I love the things.
Oh, hey, another 10 Tech lover. That's great.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jim!
I nearly got a Corsair many years ago, and that's another regret. Anyway, back to you, Josh.
Well, I'm going to get sidetracked then. So, Jim, did you go stumble by the 10 Tech booth when you were at Hamvention this year? What'd you think?
People have been telling me that, I don't know, 10 Tech's been teasing us for too many years. I'm afraid to commit. Yeah, I love 10 Techs, and I have a big collection of old 10 Techs, but I'll believe it when I see it. Let's just say that.
Well, here's a question that, gosh, I'm going to get totally sidetracked by my main question, but as somebody who has not bought a 10 Tech, and I do appreciate the lineage there, but if somebody was a complete novice to 10 Tech and willing to look around for different things, like what would be a good radio that someone might want to look at if they're interested in 10 Tech?
I think the Triton 4 is a really nice old radio. We're talking older rigs from the 70s and early 80s. But I think that Triton 4 is really nice. If you want to do QRP, if you can get your hands on an Argonaut, that's nice. But the Triton 4, I like it's a 100-watt radio. You can get a digital version, and it's an easy radio to use. So that would be my recommendation. And I've seen them for sale on eBay recently for not too bad of a price.
And those were American-made radios, right? That was one of the things, right?
Yeah, American-made. And I don't know what happened to the company. I think it changed hands, I think, and
a couple
this
of
and
times.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were just so good. You were talking about relays before. 10 Tech's relays were just silky smooth and just quiet. You're sending CW, and I like to send in QSK. And you don't hear anything. It's just nice and smooth. And whereas you'll hear some radios and you're sending in QSK, and you hear clickety clackety, clickety clackety. Now, if you got headphones on, maybe that's okay. But I don't like to wear headphones unless I need to. And so that's one of the first things I'll listen to on a new rig is how noisy is it when I'm sending code.
Well, so very important distinction, or break this down. What is QSK? So if nobody knows what we're talking about, what does that mean?
QSK means there's no, you can set a delay when you're sending the code. And so if you want to, you can set it so that when you start sending, it kind of cuts off your receive, gets quiet while you're sending, then when you stop sending, it'll bring the receive back on. But QSK means that there's no delay. You hear in between every element of the character you're making, you hear the receive come back. And I know Howard, he doesn't use QSK. It's just a personal choice. He's an excellent CW operator. And I'm nowhere near Howard, but I like to have QSK because I don't want to miss anything. Just in case someone's coming back to me or breaking in or something, I want to be able to hear what's coming in between.
Yeah. Ghostman DKA says, what about the Scout?
My very first radio was a 10 Tech Scout. But and And so then years later, just a couple of years ago, I picked up another 10-tech Scout, just 25 years later.
Yeah.
And now I thought, how could I ever have used this thing for CW? Because it just drifts like crazy. I think it's a good radio, probably better for SSB. But if I'm going back, I wouldn't go back to a Scout. I'd go back to something like an Argus C2, one of an Omni 5 or an Omni 6, a Corsair 2, even a Corsair 1. But the Scout kind of was a little drifty for me for CW.
Okay, there you go. So the question I was trying to get to is, and we didn't even cover this in the live stream, I totally forgot to ask, but what does membership cost to be a part of the Long Island CW Club? I mean, I could pull up the website. We could just do this.
Mike, I'm talking too much. You take it.
Oh, you're fine, Jim. Go for it. It's $30 to join. It's the best value in ham radio.
And I saw a number of people who said, hey, I'm a lifetime member. Well, there you go, guys. It's 1 year for $30, 2 for $50, 3 years for $70, and a lifetime membership is $90.
Hey Josh, I saw you just had the calendar up. Maybe you could just roll through the calendar and see all the classes that we have to offer.
Yeah, I pulled that up just so that people could take a look at it. Hold on, let's bring that back up.
It's a crazy calendar.
Yeah, so I mean, let's pretend we're in Tomorrowland. Let's say you all registered that are watching me, and you're gonna hop on tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, this is next week's calendar. Okay, let's pretend we're talking about Wednesday of the 1st, right? So next week. So starting at 8 a.m., that's Eastern time, coffee and code warm-up, and then 9 a.m. is Intermediate 1, 10 p.m. open practice, 12 p.m. Intermediate 3, Zone A. What do the zones mean, guys? What does that mean?
That's Zoom.
Oh, Zoom. Sorry, Zoom. Oh, so that's another distinction. You guys have multiple Zoom rooms that you run to be able to do all of this. And so you have to be on Zoom D, right? Is that the right place for it?
Right, exactly.
All right, so then 12 is SKCC assistance. So there's your SKCC connection. Open practice. What is open practice at 1 p.m.?
Those are just slots that we make available for students that would like to come practice and join up with other similar-minded students and practice.
That's what the instructors call office hours, kids. These are office hours. That's how you can get with the professors. You can get active there. All right, then 2 p.m. is advanced head copy with NV1U. Let's see. What's London Calling recorded Zoom at 2 p.m.?
So that's a Wednesday advanced class, and Michael does an incredible job bringing up all kinds of ham radio related topics. And he's running the class from London, and it's amazing. There's a lot of history on that London Calling. I don't know if it was BBC or who did it, but when he starts the class, he does it with the bells exactly like they used to do it back in the day. It's a great class, and he's such a talent.
I thought you were going to tell me that it was London punk rock over CW, which I'd be down for. That would be great. 3 p.m. is BC open practice with BC British Columbia. Is that the open practice time for BC?
Beginner's Carousel.
Oh, okay. I was totally wrong. All right.
Very close.
Very, very close, Paul. Thank you, Paul. 3 p.m. Beginner's Carousel. Like, I'm only at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, and I don't think I can go all the way through this. But look, guys, look how long it goes. There are so many classes that are set up. You can pull this up, and I'll grab. Let me grab the link and drop it so you guys can follow it with your own eyes. It's probably better that you just read it instead of me having to read it to you. This isn't bedtime. We're still hanging out. So, all right. Back to questions. Anybody have any questions on the Discord? Otherwise, I'll see what we got in the YouTube chat here. This is actually an interesting one on YouTube. Question: I just started learning CW with a very old 1968 ARRL ARRL manual. That's right. Do plan to join the LICW to learn? Is there any value to some of this old-timey manuals?
I've read as many of them as I could get my hands on.
I bet you have. That's why it's a good question for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's always value in learning what other people have done.
Well, so I guess go into that a little bit deeper, because I think that if I had a takeaway from today's live stream is that Koch took a lot of time to document some things that he thought was kind of best practices. And then through no means of his own, people kind of co-opted that a bit, and then we ended up in this situation where the quote-unquote Koch method got kind of modified from probably what his best wishes would have been. So are there things in CW, let's take this a little step further. Are there things in CW that we should avoid doing that has been quote-unquote hallowed antiquity up to this point?
I think where there's general agreement, not 100%, but general agreement that one should learn Morse code as sounds and avoid reading them from a chart. Now, believe it or not, there's a very famous method that started by memorizing the chart and then going from there. But for the most part, that's pretty much universal today. People may argue about what kind of key you would best use to learn, or what kind of character speed, and there's plenty of room, in the universe of teaching ham radio for all of those opinions.
Mm-hmm. Vince in Canada does this YouTube series where he's a part of the ham radio workbench, where he has this one CW question, and I got asked on. I was like, well, I don't even know why I'm qualified to be here, but he asked me the question of like, what's the thing you tell people that are like interested in beginning, or the thing you should remember? And the one thing I took away from everything that's gotten me to the point I'm at is that like there's not a lot of shortcuts to learning CW. There's efficiencies. There's ways that you can make your time better spent in practice, but there's not a lot of efficiencies. The reality is that it's almost like learning an instrument. You actually have to sit down and you have to put in good practice to become better at it. And there's really no shortcuts around that. And that's almost comforting. It was always comforting to me in the sense that it's like, yes, it is something that I will attain real ability if I put the time in, but it requires the time. And I what do you guys think about that? If you had to approach my thoughts there.
You're spot on, Josh. What's really interesting is that it doesn't matter whether you were learning Morse code 100 years ago or whether you're learning them today. The factors that are responsible for student performance are aptitude, motivation, and the distribution and the quality of practice, period.
Yeah. Jim, what's your favorite Morse code key? As someone who, I don't want to say, wait, is your wife here now, Jim? Can we talk freely about Morse code keys?
No, I can talk. She's in the other room.
What's your favorite Morse code key in your collection?
I can't. That's not.
That's like my favorite child. It's like you're picking your favorite child, right?
I can tell you this. I learned on a paddle, and and I used a paddle for my first 3 years of operating, and I have a lot of paddles, and I like paddles. But after I joined LICW, I started experimenting with a bug, and I've been using almost a bug exclusively for probably the last year and a half. I always have multiple keys on my bench, but the first key, the bug is just so much fun, and so I like to have. I guess I'd say right now, my favorite key is a bug, but that'll change, from time to time. I haven't tried the Cootie yet, so eventually I'll start learning that.
Yeah,
but,
there was
all kinds of keys.
There was a bit of time where there was a lot of people on the LICW club talking about Cooties. Is that still a popular key, the Cootie key?
Yeah. It is a popular key. It's one I haven't, whenever you learn a new key, whenever I started learning the bug, I didn't want to learn it until I got my CW up to where I wanted it to be with the paddle.
Mm-hmm.
And because when you learn a new key, you kind of go backwards 5 or 6 words a minute.
Sure.
Because you're learning something new. And so, yeah, there was a whole. It's weird. It's like things kind of come and go in fashion. All those keys are always here. But there was a trend for a while in the club where there was a lot of talk on cooties. I'm seeing a lot of talk on bugs lately. So it just depends on what people are talking about.
Well, since we got you talking about them, let's break them down. So a cootie key, what is it? What does that mean?
A cootie key would be like if you took 2 straight keys and laid them sideways, and you push them on one with one way, and it gives you it's like a straight key, and you push it the other way, it's a straight key. So you're making the dits and the DAWs either way that you push it. The longer you hold it against the contact, the longer it'll be. So it's just like using a straight key sideways, only like 2 of them.
So imagine it's a paddle, but it's just one paddle. There's not 2. Now, someone told me my understanding of cootie keys was wrong. So with a cootie key, you're making the DAWs and the dits as you go back and forth. Your hand creating it. So my understanding,
it's completely all manual.
Right. So so if I was going to do an M, for instance, would I go right a DAW and a left a DAW, and I go left, right, or would I just go right?
The proper way to use a cootie, from what I understand, and like I said, I haven't begun learning one yet, but I've heard a lot of people talk about them.
Right.
And you're supposed to you alternate. Every move is from left and right, and left you go back and forth. And so if you're making an M, one side would be one of the DAWs, and the other side would be the other DAW, and then you just keep on going back and forth for whether it's a dit or a DAW.
See, that to me, like, that gives me anxiety thinking about that.
It's mind bending, because I mean, if you're used to a paddle, you got a keyer doing all your dits and DAWs for you.
Right. Yes.
And then I'll be using a paddle, and then I'll get on my bug, and all of a sudden I'm sending, and all of a sudden my DAW is going da, because I'm waiting for it to end.
Right.
Right. Like I went on a paddle, but it doesn't. So it's fun to, I used to work. I retired from the Air Force, and my last base was Beale Air Force Base. I worked in the U-2 program. And the pilots, they could never get enough time. I took care of the pilots, was my job, and the pilots could never get enough time flying on the U-2, so they would fly T-38s in between to get all their flight hours in. Mm-hmm. And I would ask them sometimes, hey, what's the use of flying a T-38 if you're basically your main aircraft is a glider,
right.
a U-2? And they would tell me, it stretches your brain. It's good to go from one that's fast to one that's slow. It kind of stretches you. And I think that I'm kind of using that as an example to going from key to key. They're all a little bit different, bug, a paddle, a straight key, and then a cootie. They're all different. And if you can wrap your brain around going from one to the other, even in the same QSO, I'll move to 3 different keys sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's a good exercise for your brain, and I think it just keeps you sharp.
Well, I don't want to go on a complete side path here, but you tip so. Mention of trains and many other things on the earlier. I'm an aerospace kind of guy, and so the retirement of the U-2 coming up, right? Is that already done?
Oh, I've been hearing that for the last 20 years.
You know what's funny
like
is that
B-52 same way.
Yeah, it's the U-2, the B-52, and the A-10 always threatened.
Oh yeah,
always threatened to be retired.
The Army won't let the A-10 go.
No, the CAS mission is not going away, and you're not doing it with the Raptor. There's no way. See,
we'll have to talk about it. We have to talk about aircraft sometime.
See, now I got a whole world of stuff that I could talk to Mike about, just in the lineage and history of CW and Flex Radio. But now I got something with Jim that we could talk for hours on. Oh yeah,
and don't forget Mike's a pilot too, so he's
that's
in
right.
There too.
Yeah, so he could join us on that too. I do have a quick thing I'm going to pull up here. So you might like this, Jim, since you developed the QSO. But if you go to hashtag livestream memes, they made a meme that says it's two people on a date. Looks like a very nice date, a young man and a woman. It says, "Oh no, what do I say now?" LICW replies, "Just follow the QSO protocol, son."
I've got to get that meme.
There you go.
Awesome.
There you go.
That's perfect. I'd like to open my class with that.
Who did that? Of course it was Jody. Of course it was
the
Jody.
meme master.
Jody is the meme master. That's definitely for sure. That's great. Great job, Jody. That was a really good one. I love it. Oh man. Well, again, open floor for questions. I think at this point we need to open it up to all questions, all amateur radio questions. I know you guys have been so generous with your time. You're free to hang out, Mike and Jim. You're welcome to stay. But I think we're going to open it up a little bit to just everything, everywhere, all at once. So go ahead. Everybody out there. Well, wait, hold on first. Let's say a big thank you to Jim and Mike, everybody, if we can. Go for it. Everybody at one time. Scream at them.
Thank you, both of you. Absolutely fantastic.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. We love to talk about CW.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I love that.
Thanks for having us, Josh. That was great. But I'm getting the look from downstairs. It's dinner time, so
cheers.
I'll leave you guys.
I appreciate that, Mike. I figured we're getting close to the time, so go ahead, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. We really do appreciate it.
And I'll stick around a little longer, see what else goes on in this place.
By the way, Ham Radio Hobo, if you want to get that key fixed, look up Whiskey Oscar 6 Whiskey. Whiskey Oscar 6 Whiskey. He's good on QRZ. Send him an email with the picture you posted here. Tell him I sent you, and he'll get you squared away.
There you go. There you go, Ham Radio Hobo.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Mike. All right. Any questions from anywhere about any ham radio topic? It could even be any radio topic. We'll take it. So anybody in the Discord, first crack, go for it.
Update for you, Josh.
Go ahead, Frank.
No, take the other one. I'm trying to find the question. There was a fun one that I thought you'd like.
Your mic hit off. Who was that? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, did I bounce on somebody? I'm sorry. I have dyslexia and a learning disability, and I'm trying to pass my tech license. Is there any where I could get some help with that? Are there instructors or where I could do that?
Well, how far have you attempted to go on your own at this point?
Well, right now I'm at hamstudy.org, and I've been doing this pretty much all day. I'm at 93% overall and 52% aptitude, and I've been doing this all day, and I've done this a few years back, but I couldn't pass the test. I missed it there's some tests I missed by 4 or 5 questions, which I have to have I think it's 74% to pass or something like that. I don't remember, but I'm missing just a few questions in order to pass it.
Comment.
Go ahead, Paul, and then I got some thoughts. Go ahead.
Okay, as one of the VEs for the HRCC VE team, I would tell you to stick with Ham Study. Make sure you see the entire question pool. And then when you're ready to test, come to HRCC under testing questions under the Discord and tell them that you are ready to take a test, and we will make some accommodation. And what we did the last time for a person who was dyslexic and also somewhat visually impaired, every question was read, every answer was read, and the person passed. It took a long time, but we got them through it. So don't stop. Just make sure you get through the entire test question pool.
Does that help at all, or where are we stuck right now?
That helped a lot because I know somebody out there will help with that accommodation. Yes.
Okay. So I think the other thing there is, I don't want to assume how much time you spent, but most people don't sit down and just crank out the test pool in a day and okay, I'm ready to take the test. I'm sure there's some who have. I will not take anything away from that. But they're not just going to start from 0 and go to 60 in 1 second, right? There is some time you have to put behind it, even at a technician level. So there's nothing wrong with taking the time to study in the way that you are best learning in a comfortable position, doing what you do. Now, I always advocate people focus on learning the license the way they learn best. Some people are auditory learners, some people are visual, demonstration based, some people are book learners, and there is an option for every one of those ways to become an amateur radio operator. So it really depends on you. Your dyslexia is just who you are as a person, but still the way you learn best is going to be your own personal thing as well. So, what do you think? How do you think you learn the best?
I think I don't think my dyslexia, because I see all the letters, I see all the numbers, I don't read them backwards, I read them forwards.
Okay.
And I think it's more of a learning disability that I've been diagnosed with both, but I think it's more of a learning disability than a dyslexia ability. But the way I learn more is I did a little bit of research today, and I came across this website, and I've stopped and I've done it all day, but I've taken breaks and come back to it, and so on and so forth, because I thought it was just 35 questions, because that's usually what the test is, and it's not. It's question after question, and if I miss one, it goes back to it, and so on and so forth. So I mean, I'm learning a lot, but I don't always understand what I'm learning. So it's it's a learning disability.
Yeah. It's retention. The retention is the question. Yeah.
And if someone explains it to me, then I get the aspect of the situation or something like that. And did someone put in that website that that gentleman referred to?
I don't know, but so you said if someone's explaining it to you, you learn better? Did you say that?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm not trying
testing questions.
Yeah. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but did you try my technician license test videos that I made?
Have not. I just came across your YouTube channel about a week ago.
Okay. So I have a playlist entirely devoted to the technician license that was good through 2026, and I talk through all of the questions in the pool, the entirety of them. Oh, do we lose him?
Nope, no. I'm here.
Okay, so give that a shot. Maybe that could help. I've heard that people have watched my videos as well as doing the hamstudy.org practice exams, and it helps out. It helps out for people.
Josh is being very, very modest. Okay, if you go on to Ham Radio Crash Course on YouTube and just type in Ham Radio Crash Course Technician Class or Technician videos, the whole series will come up. And I would strongly recommend you put in the time and the effort to watch the videos and then go through the pool again. It is not just a little tiny pool of questions. There are hundreds and hundreds of questions for the 35 that they pull.
And I appreciate that people learn differently. And so that's why video is one option, text with Ham Study, audio. I like the audio books. That's how I got my extra, was an audio book. That was my big thing. But go ahead, Frank. Were you going to say something? We'll throw it back to Wiz Nation.
3 of us just dropped
I saw that. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, and then my last question would be,
hello. What? Well, hold on one second. Go ahead, Wiz Nation. You got it. You got the conch.
My last question would be, what is? I've been looking at a what's the name of the radio? It's just a real cheap radio. You can get them on Amazon. It's an 8-watt ham radio. I believe it's Bagor or something like that.
The thing.
Yeah, exactly. Is that a good radio?
Save your money. Get yourself the $18 Amazon special UV5R for VHF UHF. That's all you need to get started. Start with that. Consider upgrading the antenna. Maybe get yourself a signal stick, and also get the programming cable. Specifically, everybody listening to me, don't deviate from this course, an FTDI chip programming cable. MeerKit makes one of them. They are a seller on Amazon. All total, all put together, you're talking $60 for all that.
Yeah, it's the same radio you're talking about, but it's an upgrade. It's an 8-watt radio. It's the same company.
Yep, don't do it. Don't do it. Just get the $18 4-watt Baofeng, please. Just 8 watts isn't going to get you anything. Just go with the $18 Baofeng off of Amazon. Trust me. Please trust me on this one.
I'll make a hot tip here. Just because it's 8 watts doesn't mean the 4-watt isn't the same thing power-wise. You won't see...
8 watts is not twice as good as 4 watts.
Exactly.
Not with RF. So doubling the watt gets you half an S unit, but even then, out of a handheld, it means next to nothing if you don't have a very good antenna that you're putting that power into. So literally, the UV5R, it's not even $18, it's $17.90-something is fine. Totally fine.
Do you have a link to that?
I can get you one. I'll get you one. Hold on. I'll drop it in
Jody already dropped your Amazon page.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Go to my Amazon store, and thank you, Jody. Appreciate that. So if you go to Jody's link there to my Amazon page, it breaks it all out, and you should be able to find it there without any problem. And all my other recommended items as well. So thank you, Jody. Appreciate that. Does that help?
One last question.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. There you go. There you go.
One last question. What was that website that gentleman was talking about on testing, or what he was
It's
saying?
on this Discord. It's on the Ham Radio Crash Course Discord. If you scroll up, you'll see a section that says testing questions, and just go into that section, and you can ask any question you want in there. So whether you have one question or 50 questions, there are plenty of really smart people in there to answer your questions. I would not have ever passed any of my licenses without it. And I'm not that smart.
You catch that?
I just tagged it.
So this Discord has a chat room called Testing Questions. And if you go there, you can take those questions all the way up to, hey, I have a question. I'd like to take my test as soon as possible. And you might find yourself in a room with
in
VEs
15, 20 minutes.
in a couple of minutes to get you licensed. That's how fast these guys are. They're amazing.
Wiz Nation, just to let you know, I just tagged you in the live stream chat, tagging you and the testing questions room. So if you just click on that or tap on it on your phone, whichever you're on, it'll take you right into that part of the Discord.
Right. The VEs for the Ham Radio Crash Course, VEC, hang out there, and we are always there to help people get licensed. I mean,
yep,
that's what we do. We do it almost every day.
Is there a way to do it online as well?
Yeah, that's the preferred way to do it. You can do it online, completely online. And they'll talk you through the questions while you do it. They'll do it.
I promise you, when you're ready for the test, just tell them that you would like me in your session, and I'm one of the leads, so I'll find you.
Okay, I appreciate that,
and
guys.
I'll get you through it. I haven't had anybody fail yet, so keep studying.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And by the way, I don't know what your name is, but I came across your. Oh no, yeah. The guy with the YouTube channel. I came across his YouTube channel about a week ago, and I'm glad I hit you guys up tonight. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Josh, and I'm glad you're here joining us on the Discord. Thank you for going through the Discord process too and joining us out here. I very much appreciate that. The Discord is where it's at. I cannot be online all the time, but the Discord is always online, and there's always somebody willing to help you answer a question. So thank you for joining us. It's highly appreciated. And we want you to join us. So take the time, study, and we're ready to welcome you into the fold, okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you. And God bless everybody. God bless the USA.
Well, thank you. I'll take it. I appreciate that. All right, so here's what I want to do. I think we got to take a minute to say.
Josh?
Yeah, Ari, go ahead. Is that Ari? Go for it.
Josh, just to say that I am a little on it, new and a little bit a veteran at this time, but I wanted to help him out because I'm also dyslexic, as well as I have a little learning disability.
Sure.
And Dave Kessler, as well as you, actually got either he helped me to come to you or you helped me to come to him. Both of you guys are good, knowledgeable people to get past the technician as well as the general. Dave Kessler has made wonderful videos that actually helps people learn visually. So I'm just putting that out there for the previous person.
Great points. Again, everybody find the thing that helps you learn the best. Dave Kessler is a absolute sage in the area of amateur radio, and yes, he has made lots of amazing content. Again, he is KE0OG. KE0OG is his call sign. Dave Kessler on YouTube. If somebody wants to drop the link for that, that would be great too. But yeah, highly recommended. I was so grateful to see Dave at Hamvention this year. He was on the end of my live stream. I think I ended my live stream talking with Dave. It was fantastic. I had a great time talking with Dave.
He is the OG.
He is the OG. He picked his call sign well. There's no question about that.
I just dropped his link, and then I found the question that I thought you might want to address when you're ready.
What are you talking about?
There was a question in the YouTube chat a while ago now, and I thought I'd grab it for you.
Where is it?
Back at 7:45. What is going on with the ARRL with processing new tests? I've been waiting 2 weeks.
Okay, so we'll pull up the website again here because we should do that, and I'll drop the link in the YouTubes, and then everybody will see it once I drop it here. But okay, so the ARRL has a service disruption. We don't know the details of all of it, but if we go all the way back to the beginning of this, which started in May 16th. They said we are in the process of responding to a serious incident involving access to our network and headquarters-based systems. So when someone says access, that in the way they frame this, they're talking about unauthorized access. So we're talking about hacking, right? So somebody got hacked. In this case, the ARRL. And this is kind of what they're using is updating everybody on what's going on. And they have 3 updates here. So not a ton of updates, but, it could be bad, and they're dealing with it. So first, let me just hit the 517 update first, in that the ARRL does not collect credit card information anywhere on our systems, and we do not collect social security numbers. So your private information could be compromised to a degree. We don't know because they haven't said that. That's me speculating. But your social security number and your credit card number are not on their databases. So you're probably okay there. The latest update, though, was on the 22nd of March, and it says we are continuing to look into this incident involving access to our network, and it affected things. It affected several services, such as the Logbook of the World, the ARRL Learning Center, and other things. So here's where the rubber meets the road. If you are a VE, a volunteer examiner, and you have someone test with you, and it's whether it's electronic or physical, they have to parse that into information that gets sent out to a VEC. The VEC then takes that and puts it into the right format, which is digital, and sends it off to the FCC. The FCC in the United States is the one that processes your license exams passing state, right? So the question becomes, Is it somewhere stuck in the ARRL, or is that whole side of it unaffected, and it's now in the FCC's hands, and they just haven't processed your license yet? That we don't know. I don't know what has been affected with regards to what they're going through right now. It's entirely possible that your whole license pass status went off to the FCC, and they're just hanging on to it. We don't know yet. So we don't know. We don't know. That's where we're at right now. Okay.
I will add on to that. If your test got through before whatever happened, and it's in the FCC's hands, check your spam box, your spam mail inbox, for any notifications from the FCC asking, especially if you're a ham or changing your license, asking for that payment, because I've noticed a lot of the FCC emails are going to spam for some reason.
Yeah.
And the new hams, potential hams, upgrading hams aren't seeing that, and they're missing that payment window, and then they have to go and retest all over again.
They do not have to retest.
Okay,
We just have to refile the paperwork. You have 10.
So refile.
You have 10 calendar days from the time it's submitted by the VEC, which is ARRL. ARRL is nothing more than like a wholesaler that we send the test to, and then they forward it to the FCC. As it stands right now, HRCC only has about 8 sessions that have not been uploaded to the FCC. We are hearing through VEC channels that ARRL may be online on Tuesday or Wednesday. That does not mean your license is going to be issued anytime soon. We're thinking at the earliest probably Friday or a week from Monday. Also, this Monday is a holiday, so nothing's going to be uploaded until at least Tuesday.
Yeah.
Even if you're in another VEC, the situation is not. It's serious, because obviously something went on that they don't want to talk about. But as far as testing, we are continuing to test. We are uploading all those tests to ARRL as we can. Mike, who does all of the uploading, is looking at other channels to get to the FCC, maybe on a temporary basis. But it's a serious situation. But you're not going to have to retake your test because the test itself hasn't been uploaded yet, and it's 10 days from the upload. And then you get a bill usually from the FCC, and then you have to go into the Uniform Licensing System, the ULS, and pay the $35. If it's an upgrade, you can use your upgrade just /AG or AE, and you have all the rights and privileges of those classes. The only situation is a problem are technicians, and they have to wait for a call sign before they can go out and broadcast.
Should be noted, though, and Paul, you already hit upon it to a degree, but I want to reiterate it. If you passed, right? If you're passed all in, you're good. The VEs at the HRCC, they didn't lose your paperwork. They all still have that paperwork. So even if there's some kind of issue with the ARRL and processing it, it's not lost. So it will just get submitted, and it will get taken care of, and everything will be okay. So,
and you can even test for an upgrade. You can bring your CSCE, your certificate of successful completion. You can bring it to any VE and say, here, I passed my tech. Now I want to get my general. It shouldn't stop you from studying. It shouldn't stop you from continuing to test. We have had a few that are now testing for their general because it's been a whole week and a half. I think we're in day 12 that we're dealing with this, but it doesn't. We tested 4 people last night, 3 upgrades and 1 tech. And we told the tech same thing we're saying now. We don't know when your license will be issued. The upgrades, hey, go online and do whatever you want to do on general, and do whatever you want to do on extra. But it's a tough situation. But don't let it. If you are ready to test, do not let it stop you from testing.
Yeah.
Go in and do it while you're ready.
Well said.
And thank
Paul.
you for thank you for clarification there, Paul. I thought they had to go and redo everything, but
No, it's no
my
problem.
main point was, check your spam box, because that it might just be held up there if everything got through the ARRL before things happened. The FCC might be waiting on you for a payment. That's all it could be.
Could be. Possibly. Maybe. Yeah. All right. I got to run to the restroom for a quick second. I will be right back. And then we're going to go say hi to some of our YouTuber friends, and we're going to get right back to your questions. We're going to go a little bit longer today, so don't worry. If you have questions, we're going to get to them. And again, thanks everybody for coming out. Please enjoy looking at my all my. Well, here, let me open the aperture a little bit. Oh, yeah, look at all of my tech, my radio stuff. I'll be right back. See you in a second. You guys can keep talking. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Hey, Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics, I see you here in the chat.
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, cool. When he gets back, I sent him a list of who's here in the chat, and you're first up. So
appreciate you.
Batter up, Bill.
Right. I just wanted to make sure I didn't make a fool of myself this week.
Hey, Frank, I shared something the gang might be interested in, a PDF of a supplier offshore of Baofeng parts and devices. And if you notice the page I pointed out there, they will write whatever you want on that radio to make you think you're getting a better deal.
Where did you share that, Mark?
A few minutes ago. I can post it again, or I'll just find it and do a reply.
Yeah, send it to me, because I'm not seeing it in the live stream chat.
Yeah, I saw that, Mark, and my first thought was we should play a joke on K8MRD and put a 5 kilowatt Baofeng out there for sale.
Oh, maybe I didn't scroll far.
I think it should be the K8MRD Baofeng, or K8MRD Explorer radio.
Oh, yeah, the special edition K8MRD model.
Absolutely. Affiliate link down below.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I went right over that.
No, it's just Baofeng stuff. We were looking to buy cables, and we got that, and I love that particular page. It's like, yeah, we'll write 8,000 milliamp hours on a 25 or 250 milliamp hour battery. We don't care.
That sounds like problems and not problems at the same time.
Yeah. But then, too, if anybody needs to, you'd have to get an updated price list. But if anybody needs to buy a bunch of stuff for their club, that's one way to save $1 or $2.
Oh, absolutely. And Ted has it right. The KMRD APRS Baofeng special.
We can outfit that thing with a legal limit transmitter and, an infinite power supply.
Hey, by the way, Mike, K8MRD, did not complain once about Meshtastic that I heard the entire weekend at Dayton.
Nope.
And that's not much better than APRS. It is a little bit easier to use, though.
Actually, so buddy, I'm doing a video where and hello, I'm back. So I did I've recorded it here. I started looking into the protocol of Meshtastic, and it's kind of like the messaging that I use if we're talking to like satellites. It's like command and control software. It's pretty advanced. There's a lot of stuff they're doing in Meshtastic that we are not doing in APRS. There was a video that I think a guy said, it's like, oh, it's kind of like APRS. It's not. There's so many different things going on with Meshtastic. I was pretty impressed. I was like, okay, all right, I see what you're doing there. No, Mike was great. I made, yeah, everybody saw that gold case that I printed for Mike, and we had that little Hello Kitty dongle we put on there. Yeah, he loved it. He did a great job with it. It was
And
a lot
he
of
was
fun.
proud of that Hello Kitty dongle too.
Well, I have spent now, let's see, how many times have I roomed with Mike? Like three times at different Hamfests. And I swear that guy, he puts in the work walking all over the place, and then at the end of the night, without question, gets rid of those shoes and puts on the Crocs. He's a Croc guy. Got to let those dogs breathe. And he puts them Crocs on, and I had a Hello Kitty in a Croc, and I was like, that's for my boy Mike. I got to get that to him as fast as I can. That literally sat on my desk for 6 months. No, it was Hamcation to Hamvention, so only like 3 months. And packed it up with that case, and I was like, this is for Mike. We're giving this to Mike. He needs this.
Jeff has it right. That's a Hello Satan Kitty.
Hello Satan Kitty. Well, so Satan's black though. Hello Kitty is, so that would be what was the black?
Yeah. Okay.
No, there is a black cat in the Hello Kitty. Somebody will probably know, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Once my wife comes back, I'll be like, "What's the black cat Hello Kitty thing?" She'd know.
Choco Cat.
Choco Cat. That's it. Who had that? Yeah, that's it. Was that you?
That was me.
That was
yeah.
just a deep pull. Good job. That was Choco Cat. Yeah. Yep. That's it.
I may or may not have a couple friends that their whole lives, even at the age of 30-something years old, revolve around Hello Kitty.
So they're either Japanese or they're weebs. Are they weebs?
They're weebs, yes.
Okay, all right, good. All right, let's go down the list of some of our ham radio YouTube friends. So I see a call sign. Bill, are you there, Bill?
I most certainly am. How you doing, man?
Well, then you know what time it is, Bill. It's Bill 30. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. It was good to see you at Hamvention, and thanks to Frank for getting me on the list, and thank you for spotting me out there. It's always good to hang out with you guys and see everything that's going on there, and hear people's explanations, and hear what's trending in the hobby. It motivated me. I got a couple of videos out. That's at Bill-HRT. I'm one of the other HRTs. There's Ham Radio Tube, and then there's Ham Radio Tectonics. But I got a couple antennas I want to do a video about, one from Alpha Antennas and another one from K7 Sugar Whiskey. And yeah, between work and trying to get these videos done and working on the Green Ham Machine, I stay really busy. So thanks a lot, guys. I'm not going to stay on any longer, but thanks, and good to see everybody out there.
Hey, I appreciate you, buddy. It's always fun to hang out with you. Are you going to be at Huntsville?
By hook or by crook, I'm going to be at Huntsville.
All right, good. Well, then I hope you bail me out of the lobby. I promise I won't be that in that bad of a situation again, but I'm glad to hang out with you.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. You were fine.
That's right. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, 73 to you. That's Bill at Ham Radio Tectonics. Frank already got the link in there, so thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. That is.
I got everybody pulled up ahead of time.
Oh, you're the man. Well, that means you're next, bud. So how you doing? And by the way, big shout out to you. So if anybody didn't know, like I did a live stream with Simon Ham Jazz, and that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of Simon over at Ham Jazz, his YouTube channel. He's an antenna tinkerer. He just loves to play in this space. Like, he really does it, and I think he's doing it in a way that, like, foil tape, making that into a fractal antenna, super cool stuff. Like, I've now made multiple contacts to him, and he's on the east side of Canada, over at Poda.
No.
Where is he?
British Columbia. He's north of us.
Oh, he's in BC. Okay, so I take that back. Sorry. He's in BC, and I've still made contacts with him every time he starts going out there and fools around with his antennas. The last one he did, second to last, he was in a canoe that he had a mast on it. He had thrown radials out, and he was in the peak of the solar storm where everybody's dead. You can't hear anything. I hear him over the radio. No YouTube. I'm watching him on YouTube, but I'm not using that to decode any or listen to him in any way. We made our contact over the radio. He was the only person I heard. Awesome. Simon's great. I love his energy for antenna building and everything he's out there doing. And yeah, I had a really fun time doing the live stream. But the point of all that was Frank was doing all that back end work. If you go back and look at switching over to the videos and all that stuff, and yeah, Simon calls me. I was like, okay, go ahead, Frank, go ahead, throw that over there. And yeah, that's all Frank on the back end. So Frank, good job on supporting many YouTube channels at this point. You are really doing a great job. So thank you for that. We appreciate the support.
I just try to support my fellow YouTubers, and I try to make myself a helpful hand when and where I can. That's how I live by both for life and online.
Yeah.
And with that, I did drop Simon's link as well as mine here.
Thank you.
And you took half of my speech away. I was going to say, what do you think about that Simon guy there?
I love Simon.
Simon's awesome.
In fact, I want to do the reverse. I know he was kind of like, oh, I'm so glad that you joined me out here and blah, blah, blah. But to be honest with you, I want to interview him on like what goes through his brain when he starts thinking about some of these antennas he's cooking up. Because taking the foil and then like doing the cuts where he's doing these like zigzag, it's like the Roman lightning bolt patterns that you would sometimes see on like the phalanx shield kind of thing.
Exactly.
So I want to know what where he's channeling his ideas from. Where is his what's his antenna muse, if you will? So you might see Simon on my channel in the future to bring him out here and do a live stream with him because I love the energy.
That would be fun.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
You know, I will give this spoiler. You know, last I checked, you are the biggest ham tuber by subscriber count.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for him it was for any of us less than you, it's a big deal to have you, especially on the show. I will be 100% honest, and that's where I'm sure he was coming from with that.
Well, we can take it a step further and say I'm also probably the biggest ham tuber in view count as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, you were besides Dave Kassler, you were probably one of the first, right?
No, not at all.
Well,
not at all.
Today, for today, what we know for HamTube today.
No.
Okay.
Ham Radio Concepts, Ham Radio 2.0, and Ham Radio and OG. They all were making ham radio videos before I started.
Does that tell you how late to the show I am, Josh?
We were gun guys.
That's right,
yeah.
Paul. That's right, Paul.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Adapt and overcome.
So for me. So we're going to bring this back around to me. Yeah, I do a lot of back end work. I actually have on my StreamYard page a dedicated info/help channel. So for those new to StreamYard or who haven't used StreamYard before and are thinking of live streaming with it, drop me a line. I'm more than willing to help you learn bits and pieces of StreamYard and teach you how things work. And I go one extra step. I take OBS, which is a streaming platform that a handful of us use, and I pipe that into StreamYard. So everything you saw in the back end yesterday, Josh, that was OBS to StreamYard.
Yeah, so I highly recommend if you're making videos explaining to people how to get the most out of StreamYard, you'll probably get more views out of that than your ham radio stuff. And what you did on the back end of StreamYards is more than I've seen out of most of the bigger channels that use StreamYard, to be honest. You're using it at a higher level than a lot of people.
I just fiddle around and learn stuff. That's all and
that's how I got to where I'm at with OBS, to be honest with you. So you're doing it, man. Keep doing it.
By the way, thank you for that hot tip on the chat. It actually worked better than what I was doing.
Yep, cascading style sheets for days, man.
Yeah. MySpace, so much better.
So, as an elder millennial, I will tell you, cascading style sheets is what got us through our weekends fooling around with our MySpace page. Who remembers MySpace?
Yeah. That was the fun days of interneting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't think of doing StreamYard videos because that seems already pretty saturated too. But I'm willing, anybody that wants to try StreamYard out, hit me up. I'm willing to take you into the back channel and help you learn it and see if it's for you for live streaming. And if it is, I can help you further in getting things set up.
Oh!
Speak of the devil.
Simon!
Josh,
I saw it. My man. Dude, that was a great live stream. I had a lot of fun. You guys are great. Cheers.
Simon, we were just,
you know
Josh was just talking about you.
Hoist one for you. Struth, bud. Appreciate you. That was a lot of fun.
Anyway, so
I know Simon knows how to use StreamYard.
Well, he can hop on Discord. The links in the
I know he knows how to use Discord.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He had a fun live stream today. All right, so I'm going to finish up with me real quick, and then we'll go on to Tim, because I know Tim's itching at the bits among a few others to say something.
Yeah, well,
Tuesday nights,
yeah.
I'm in the Ham Radio Clubhouse lineup for the Tuesday night playlist with Tim and a few others here in the chat. I have a video coming out this week. It's just another POTA activation.
Mm-hmm.
But last week, I did a video on Polo from Ham 2K. So go check that out. I am going to be doing a video on a very hot, well, for me, personally, a hot button subject. It has to do with the QRZ website. So watch out for that. And every Thursday night at 10 Central, that's 0300 UTC, I go live with the NorCal SwapNet from the Sacramento area of California. So that's what I have going on here. And at last check, the lists, the updated list I sent you, Josh, is who's left in the chat right now.
Yeah. So, Frank, as a shout out, as always, let me know if they have a mountain topper, okay? Just call me first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So next is Grayman POTA. By the way, I had a great time hanging out with Grayman. So it's always great to meet people we've been spending time talking to in actual person and just shooting the whatevers when we hang out. But how you been doing, man? How's it going?
I mean, I tell you what, I've been doing good. Just recovering from that whirlwind that was Xenia.
Did you get sick?
And no.
Oh, it was just me. I got it.
Was that crab sandwich that you had?
Definitely.
Yeah, the crab roll. No, but no, it was a fun time. I didn't get the camera out a whole lot there this time around. I seen a lot of the people at Hamcation, so I actually spent this time more just meeting people, talking, and the social side of amateur radio and the Ham Fest and everything. So it was really good. Got to meet Jody in person and a few others that I just knew from avatars on things like Discord. So that was really cool.
That was great to meet Jody. Shout out to Jody.
Yeah, I've got a video coming out. Frank had mentioned we're doing the Tuesday night creators before the Ham Radio Clubhouse. So I think we got 8 people lined up this week that have videos, which is good because it's all good content and it's different people and different journeys of their amateur radio career and they're documenting that through YouTube and sharing it with the world.
Right on, man. Well, I gotta say, it is very nice. I will continue to give Jason Ham Radio 2.0 a lot of credit for getting that campsite because that little oasis slightly outside of the fairgrounds area, everybody's welcome to come over there, but I'll tell you what, it gives us a little respite of the Hamvention just chaos that exists. And so I do value that. And that's where you and I spent a lot of time kind of hanging out. And it was a lot of fun. So I do appreciate that. So it was good hanging out with you.
Cooler beer didn't hurt either.
Yeah, the cooler beer never hurts. And yes, I did avail myself of quite a few of those all-day IPAs. Sorry, Mike. For anybody, by the way, if anybody wants to know what to get Mike, K8MRD, Ham Radio 2.
IPAs.
specifically all day IPA, the all day IPA. If you can find that wherever you're at, like if you're going to a ham fest he's going to be at, put a sixer of all day IPAs in his hand. You're in. Whatever you needed, you got a question, you need some little bit of his time, all day IPA. That's how you grease the skids right there, bud. There you go. There's the pro tip. Next, ham radio pen pals with Paul. How's it going, Paul? I haven't talked to you.
It's going great.
I haven't talked to you in a little while.
I haven't been here for a while because I've been tied up with a bunch of other nonsense.
But I mean, I didn't catch up with you at Hamcation, right? I mean,
I did not go to Hamcation. I had to go to Atlanta for a day for my niece's shower, who I adore. Her father is one of my siblings, and the one that I am the closest to. And it was one of those things where if I said, "Hey, listen, by the way, I'm going to go to Dayton, Ohio." that weekend, and you could go to Atlanta by yourself, my wife might have lost her mind. So I made the right choice.
Yeah, I think
but
you did.
I listen. I miss seeing everybody. It's great when they all come here because I live here. Tim and I hung out a lot at Hamcation, and get the respite away from. I don't want to say the respite away from the crowds, but the respite away from the crowds where you have a group of people who are just hanging out has been great. And it gives you that sort of sense of family.
Oh yeah,
and we all go through the same nonsense. It's like. But tonight's show was great. I think I'm actually going to make the commitment to learn CW since I have all these Bengali keys hanging around doing nothing. And just because they said you need a straight key, I had Bruno send me a straight key, which I just got.
You gotta, right? You gotta.
And you have to.
You gotta.
have to. I mean, if you're going to have a straight key, why have a CW Morse for $30 when you can have a Bengali that is a work of art?
I have to say, I did have a moment. I shared a moment with Bruna. So Bruna
She's
Bengali,
just the best.
She is the best.
She is the
and
best.
we happen to be also scurrying, and I would say that's what I do a lot at any hamfest is I scurry. And I'm scurrying, she's scurrying, and she's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, what, are you all right? She's like, no, I'm okay. And she holds up a pack of cigarettes, and she's got to go smoke a cigarette. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I'll hang out with you for a little bit. And so what's really interesting, so Paul and everybody listening, United States folks, right? Where would you put, and smoker or not smoker, it doesn't really matter. Where would you put Winston's on your list of like tier of smoke?
They're like number 3. Newport, obviously, because that's what I smoked from the time I was 12.
But like it would be under a Marlboro, probably.
It would be under Marlboro,
right?
I mean, I would say it's Newport, Marlboro, and then Winston's.
Okay, like I would put.
It's not Chesterfield's. It's not Pall Mall.
I would put like American Spirit above Winston. Like Winston is going to be a lower tier to me. Like it's probably the top of the lower tier, right?
Not in Europe.
Bingo. So she holds up this pack of Winston's, and I'm like, I have never seen anything like this in my life. And she's like, oh yeah, no, these are what we smoke. Like these are high quality cigarettes. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, you don't have these? And I'm like, no, we have Winston's. We got Winston's.
We just don't smoke them.
We just never smoked them. And,
exactly.
And so oh, no way. Mike hit me with the no way. Winston is way above American. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Winston is way above.
I don't smoke
Winston
anymore, and I'm not.
Brand.
I'm not going to pick it up. I'm not going back. But okay, fair enough. So
yeah, Winston's definitely a premium brand. But yeah,
okay,
I mean, but she is. She
hit me. She held up this pack of smokes I've never seen in my entire life, and she ran out to get like one cigarette. She's like, this is the only time I can take a moment. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's hang out and talk. We had a great time talking. Bruna is the best. She's like, I love the passion that she's carrying on the family lineage of Bengali. It's just,
I think she's actually doing better than her dad did. I mean,
you think so? There you go. Cheers.
So I mean, you know, she loaded up the cart and came to.
Hey, Ken.
Okay.
Nope, somebody's
But she
hot.
loaded. Somebody's hot. But she loaded up the cart. Came to, you know, she comes here and doesn't know she's going to sell 1 key or 1,000 keys. You know, and it's a big expense. You know, doing that trip across the pond's, you know, not cheap. But you know, they make such a high quality product. I mean, I'm trying to get my hands on one of the anniversary keys, and literally, they're sold out. I mean, like they announced them, never announced how much they were, and people were like, "I want number 22 because all my keys are 22," and you know, and it's crazy. It's like I just want one because it's like artwork, you know, and it's like you put it in the case, put it on the spotlights, and go, "That's my key," and I
So-
think that'll be the key.
I don't know obviously for sure any official numbers, but I talked to her and I was trying to get a feel for a lot. I always ask this question of, you know, the vendors and the different people that come out year after year, like, how you doing? Like, if you had to compare it to last year, how's everything going? And she's like, we are doing pretty good. When we talked to her.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So
well, they had,
this
I
year,
think the numbers just came out. They had 34,000 in attendance.
no, close to 36,000.
36. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
35,877 people.
yeah. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of people that are in a very limited hobby.
And she
You know?
told me, she's like, we sold out of keys that like we normally have more of on hand on the
high-end
first
stuff.
day than we've really ever done before. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so excited. So everybody, this is what we want. Like it doesn't have to be you. It's okay. Like, but let's just acknowledge that it's going up. It's going the right direction. That means that ham radio is getting more prominent and popular, and that's what we want. We want that.
And you know what else?
So
We're
excited.
seeing a lot of kids. We're seeing a lot more.
Yep.
I don't want to say kids in the pejorative way, but we're seeing a lot more young people getting tested and wanting to get tested, and not just through Youth on the Air, but through digital, you know, and just going, you know, learning everything online, testing online, not even having a clue where a radio club might be, and, you know, getting their tech license. And then we encourage them to get their general.
Heck yeah.
And I don't care if they're 10 years old or 80 years old, you know, it's the same process. But, you know, it's very cool to see, you know, people that you never would think would be interested in the hobby getting into it because number one is POTA. And number two, believe it or not, is CW. CW is a hot topic right now. And people want to learn, you know, they're like, hey, well, you know, if it hits the fan and there's no communication you really want, and you can't have, you know, hidden communication or, you know, secret communications, most people don't know Morse code, you know, and that's going to be the way people are going to communicate without other people knowing, you know, it's like,
well, I mean, to a degree.
I
Once the
mean,
aliens attack, then we're all gonna.
Well,
what are
when
the
aliens
What are
come,
the Americans up to? Old Morse code.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what'll save everybody? But you know, I think the aliens already have mastered Morse code.
You think so? You think? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
absolutely. I mean, if we're really in deep, you want to go deep.
Here we go. We're going deep, apparently.
If we're actually in a test module, and you're not really here, and this is all just a simulation.
Oh, this is the brain in a vat mind-body problem.
Right. I mean, forget the Earth is flat. We know that. But forget that, you know, this is all just make pretend, and you go down the ayahuasca microdosing channel.
Paul, where are we going? We were trying to talk about your channel, and now we're going wild. Where are we going?
It's going sideways.
Okay.
It's going sideways.
Okay.
But if you want to go there, yeah, the aliens have to know it because they're the ones who programmed this whole thing. But anyway, that. I don't really have that much going on. I have a lot of nonsense going on in my real life, and you know, I just take it one day at a time and try to lean forward and not look back, and days you feel good, and days you don't, you just sit there and you go like, okay, well, stuff happens. It's just progressions. But tonight was great. I think I'm going to jump on the BC one and get on that carousel and stay on there until I learn. I mean, I certainly have enough keys and oscillators, but it was nice to hear that the 7300 is their radio of choice. You don't usually hear that. Usually,
I did like to hear that for the CW side. Yeah. Why not? It's got
I think a very intuitive radio. I think it's really easy to operate.
It's got decent filters. Decent
it has decent filters. Yeah. But other than that, everything is good and cool, and it's good to see everybody here. And that's about it. And if you want to test for your licenses, just remember Ham Radio Crash Course. But we have our VE team's doing great. This little blurb with ARRL is distressing, but
we'll figure it out.
You know what? In the scheme of things, we test people to get a license to talk on a fancy walkie-talkie. So we're not hurting anybody. If it takes an extra week or two, we'll be fine.
Right on. Well, Paul, it was good to touch base with you, and
brother.
As always, hang out. We'd love to hear from you. I love your insights, and we like those deep dives occasionally too. That's right.
Yeah, the simulation. Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
No question.
All right. So
brother.
next
Josh.
is what's that? Go ahead.
Winston in the United States is like an eighth of sales.
Eighth of
behind
sales.
generic cigarettes.
Behind what is behind generic cigarettes?
Generic is everything else.
Yeah, like number 3. Yeah, they're like no name or they're store brand.
So lower quality, right?
Yeah, those are like number 3. So they're probably value there, but interesting. I did stumble across.
I like that we're fact checking cigarettes right now. Very good.
2021 in 2021, the FTC put out a report that said that cigarette sales rose for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah, because people started going back to bars.
Yeah.
And drinking,
Yeah.
I want to quickly say this. Going back to Bagali, 1, they're Italian made, so of course they're going to be good. And 2, anyone named Bruna, friend of mine. I absolutely love the name Bruna, and Italian, absolutely fantastic. So Bagali keys is where it's at, no matter what.
I've never experienced the gratitude of anybody in my life who said she flew from Italy, and the first time I'm meeting her in person, well, not the first time, but like we've okay, let me go back. We've talked, right? We've talked at her booth. Last year at her booth, she's like, I have a gift for you. And I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking like, don't give me a key. That's too much. Let me, give me a hat. Okay, I'll take a hat. She hands me a plastic bag stuffed with like 300 buttons that had my logo on it that she made. Well, I don't know if she made them, but I mean, like, regardless, the thought is just through the roof. And I'm like, what? You're giving me swag to give away to people? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, you flew these out of Italy? Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how to process this. It's like so amazingly generous, wonderful person. Her and her husband, just the coolest people. Just the best. I follow them on wherever they travel all over the place. I follow them on Facebook. I love both of them. Just top-notch people. And all of you that got buttons last year, it's because of Bruda Bagali. And you're wearing the buttons. Like, thank Bruda. Thank her and her husband. And
Roberto.
Like, just great people. Great people. All right.
As I said,
I told them they could have my house in February.
Oh, yeah.
I said, you want to come here? You want to stay here?
There you go.
I'll open my house too.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And she's like, no. I was like, I'm serious. I wouldn't offer if I didn't really mean it.
Yeah.
And as far as smoking goes, if I found out I had 3 months to live, I'd start smoking them more. And I'd smoke 24/7. I love smoking, and I miss it more than anything else, except for maybe drinking.
Sounds like Sounds like a cop from Jersey right there. That's what that sounds like.
There you go.
All right, Paul, I love you, man. All right, my buddy here, K6 ARK, Adam. Are you on a? Oh, he's all right. We got the unmute. How you doing, man?
I am doing all right. I did catch the funk at Dayton. Got a pretty good upper respiratory infection that took me out for this weekend's fun. I was supposed to be up in the Sierra for a mountain rescue training, doing some ski mountaineering up there, but alas, I'm here at home. So missing out on a trip where there may have been some good high altitude for California anyway. Soda involved up there on some of the 10-pointers. But getting some chores done around the house, and that also means I'm around to throw some parts in baggies, and I do expect to have some kits off to Amazon next week, including some 100-watt kits in the mix. So SMAs, BNC females, and 100 watts, and probably some BNC males in there as well.
Right on,
video-wise, I've got... video-wise in the hopper, I've got one from the SoCal Soda Campout in the Cuyamaca area. That was a blast. We did the 3 peaks that day. And then I'll probably put something together from Dayton. And then upcoming in August, we're plotting and scheming a trip up San Gorgonio, the high peak here in Southern California at about 11,500 feet. I think we're going to go camp on top for the night and operate up there. So that should be a fun one coming up. And I've been working on some antennas to bring up there and have some fun with perhaps some new antennas.
Yeah, I got to bug you later about a potential backpacking trip with bringing Ben and Edison, because Edison was very disappointed he didn't get to go on the hike. And I was like, well, but you had to poop in a hole. He's like, well, I don't know that I can do that. And I'm like, well, it's not that big a deal if you have to poop really bad. But I think he's on board now, so I don't know if that's something we might be able to work out. Yeah. So that would be pretty cool to bring them all out there. So I'll bug you about it.
Let me know. Let me know July and August weekends that could work, and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, right on.
That sounds awesome.
I mean, we can go back to the same spot. The same spot was amazing. That was great. So
yeah, it is a good spot.
I just want to say this real quick, Adam. Your Joshua Tree video, that was just amazing. I'm jealous. I am legitimately jealous, and I don't get jealous so much. That was just absolutely amazing. If no one's watched it, they should.
That was a pretty incredible experience. So what Frank's referring to, I went out to Joshua Tree. It just happened to have plans to be there for a climbing trip with some friends. The weekend of the big solar storm, we got out there Friday evening, and I had seen the forecasts for G4, G5 level storming. And as we were driving out, I could see the K index was up to 8 at the time, and I was like, all right, there's a chance. We're at 32 degrees latitude or so, 33 maybe in Joshua Tree. So the odds are pretty slim that far south. But we got out there and looked, let the eyes adjust a bit and looked north, and the sky looked kind of pink. So I took a picture with kind of a long exposure, and the sky definitely had a pink tint to it at the time. Took a picture to the west, and I could very clearly see that the north half of the sky was bright pink and the southern half was, the normal dark blue. So I set up a camera for a time lapse and ran around and took some still photos with another camera. And between, I would say, like 10:30 or 11 p.m. local time and about 1 in the morning, it got really epic out there, to where, the vertical bars of light were very visible with the naked eye, and you could see them and kind of just watch them slowly move around. And you couldn't see the colors nearly as vividly with your eyes, but you could still certainly see the pinkish colors and then the lighter colors of the vertical bars. And it was a really neat experience. I'll post the video in the live stream.
I already did. It's an amazing video.
Your
And
your
go watch
facial
it.
reaction there, your facial reaction, that is exactly how I felt about it. That was exactly like I'm a photographer as a side gig, and what Adam did just pure loved jealousy, Adam. I love it, jealousy, but pure jealousy. That was just once in a lifetime down there. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to find the original photo, but I have another photo in daylight. One of the photos in the kind of the still photos set is an old kind of adobe building, just the walls of it, and a tree sticking up in the kind of the middle of it. I actually have a 24 by 36 print of that photo, but in daylight, on my wall in the bedroom, and now I need to get a print of that, basically the exact same photo, but with the northern lights there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right on. Well, thank you,
Cool.
Adam.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you hanging out, man. Appreciate you. All right. Next is Mark. How you been, Mark? How's it going?
Busy, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm
I hope so.
sure
Yeah.
you know how that goes. We do have some updates on Boondock Echo. They're not good, but to be expected. So the audio cable, the Kenwood K1, we ordered those. We got samples. Samples were perfect. They shipped out cables that were just wired wrong. So we sent them off to go redo those, right? And we got them in, looked at them. I tested the pin out. Worked perfect. The trouble is that they trigger your radio. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think it was just a reverb. You're good.
Okay. The trouble is when you plug them into the Boondock Echo, it causes a push-to-talk condition, like always on. So I was troubleshooting that, thinking maybe the firmware changed. And finally, I pulled it out and I measured the cable. And the darn shield that they gave us is 2.5 millimeters longer than spec. So it was shorting those out. So they get to make those cables a third time. Because they're way different than the samples. So
Right.
Yeah, so that's what's going on in Boondock World. We're using the time to polish up the firmware, polish up the server side of things. We've actually installed in different server locations around the U.S. to decrease latency. So we're using the time. We just kind of wish these things were pushed out by now.
So there was a talk a little while ago about getting rid of that cable entirely and just having the socket, but I think that's the future model.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that cable's gone. It is a socket, but we decided since we did take that off, we should give everyone a K1 cable so they can at least get going with the bow thing. That's what we're waiting on. This is a $2 part.
Okay, I gotcha. So a little bit of work there, but you're not far off now. This is like fit and finish kind of stuff from what it sounds like.
Yeah, it really
good.
is. I mean, worst case scenario is they refund our money and then we have to go out and find another manufacturer. But other than that, we're making good progress. And also, for anybody in the SoCal area, next month, the Barzy Summer Bash is an event in Altadena. It's near Fontana, California. So if you're into machining, all the machinist YouTubers are going to be there. I'll be there emceeing the four-jaw chuck competition. Basically, I just talk trash and distract people. It should be a hoot.
There you go. I like that. Right on, man. My kid just strolled in here to try and steal an Ozarks trail knife. I don't know why he keeps trying to get this, but that's there. But yeah, so Hamvention Challenge. We're gonna talk, Mark, for next year. But man, it was harder, at least 3 times as hard, I think, as last year. And we were thinking about adding a Boondock Echo part to it, and I was like, can we get it in time? And they're like, I don't know that we can. And I swear, if we added that, nobody would have passed the challenge. So next year, though, we're going to include you guys in it, and I think it's going to be a winner. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys, and continue doing the good stuff you're doing.
We had Casey out there. Did you get a chance to meet him, or
no? So I Casey texted me, and I was outside the ICOM area in Building 2, and I told him where I was at, but I might not have given him the best information. I was trying to explain that I'm outside on the north side of the building. Like, come out there. I'm hiding because they're doing the Hamvention Challenge, and I'm trying to stay close to where the activity is, but not be in their space so that they could, like, come and be like, "Oh, let me ask you a bunch of questions," right? And so he was texting me. We were going back and forth, but like it was so congested that we didn't catch up. I was very sad. I texted him after. I'm like, I'm sorry we couldn't meet up. I was bummed out about it. But yeah, he was
There'll be
there.
other chances.
Yeah, he was there for a little bit. Sorry I missed him.
So, but yeah, no, things are going great. And of course, you just let us know. We're going to make it happen. Just tell us how many you need and where you need them.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That will be fun the next time we do it. And yeah, we did have a winner for the Hamvention Challenge. I don't want to spoil anything, although the information's all out there. In fact, there's already people making videos about it on YouTube if you want to follow them to hear their side of the story before I can do a video with Jason, KM4ECK. But yeah, we're going to go through the whole thing and talk about all of the challenge questions that largely Jason cooked up. There was some brainstorming with Loyal Zach as one of the admins on the Discord, and I that added to it. But a lot of it is the devious, mad scientist mind of KM4ECK. Oh, Leia's in the chat. Leia says, Zombieland, Zombieland, Zombieland. So everybody, if you're not following us on our podcast, Ham Radio Crash Course, you might not know that we do a weekly HRCC movie club, and in that, we let you guys pick the disaster movie, or something related to radio, and if it's somewhere in that wheelhouse, we'll watch that movie, and then we'll grade it on our preparedness scale for the following week. And this week's movie is Zombieland, which I am so happy. It's such a good movie. It's such a fantastic movie. So I'm so happy to be able to sit down and watch a very decent zombie movie with my wife. So I'm very excited about that. She's excited. So she's posting in there, but
And
yeah.
Josh, I don't know if you saw my last message. One Chris from the UK has dropped back into voice.
Oh, Chris is digital analog ham. How you doing, man? Are you there? Maybe.
Yeah, hi Josh.
Hey man, how you doing? What's been going on with your channel? How you doing? How you been?
Yeah, not been doing much lately. I've got a problem with my hearing, and that's sort of making me feel a bit down. But I'm helping out some of the other channels in the background. But I'm doing okay, thanks.
Yeah, no, I mean we like to give a shout out to our YouTube friends when they hop in the after chat. So, thanks for hanging out here. We appreciate you, and I'm sorry to hear about your hearing. Sad to hear about that.
Yeah, well, it's an ongoing thing, and just the noise of sideband just is annoying. When I love it, so it's a bit awkward. But
that frying eggs and bacon, right?
Yeah, and also tinnitus, and I'm also working with Simon. I'm picking up on his enthusiasm, and I've just set my live stream set up again. So I'm still in there, and enjoying everything you're doing here.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, if anything comes up, you got some thoughts to add, go for it. We're gonna take a couple more questions, but obviously my wife is in the chat saying, "Hey, it's Zombieland time." She's making the call here, so I'm gonna do something though. I'm gonna show you guys something. This was this was. I apologize. I still have the con crud that I'm working through, but I want to show you something on Ham Radio Deluxe. So let me pull this up here. So we're getting Ham Radio Deluxe going. We're opening up Digital Master. And you guys might like this. This might be funny. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still on, let's see. I'm still on. Yeah, there's still activity on 20 meters. So anyway, if you're on if you have Ham Radio Deluxe, Ham Radio Deluxe actually does single sideband, and it has a capability of selecting a webcam. So if I go in here and say, oh, let's just go with webcam 4. Hey, that's me.
You're gonna make me fire this up, aren't you?
You're me. That's me right now. That's me on SSTV. I could live stream the after chat over SSTV. Not really. It'd be the slowest bit rate ever. But let me just do this real fast. Hold on. So I have a template of, let's go with CQ KI6NAZ. Yeah. So I'll double click on that bad boy. Go back to webcam, and then we'll get a tight hit on this. Hold on. So
oh no,
now,
I did not install.
Now I can transmit this. So here we go. I think I'm connected. So thought I would share this with everybody. This is what you can do with Ham Radio Deluxe, something I just found out. I loaded all my memes, of course, because maybe we'll play around with it. And now we're off to the races. So if I go back to this, oh no, I'm too big right now. Oh Christ, hold on, back. Oh, that's the wrong way. So let me go back to this guy, and where's my 7610? There's my 7610. We're transmitting that right now. Who's on SSTV, everybody? Were you waiting for the white, or not the white, the wild SSTV transmission? There you go. We're doing SSTV live. Here it goes.
I can't decode it. I'm hearing it.
So there you go. You can do that with Ham Radio Deluxe.
Yeah, I got you coming in.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Send them back one of your memes, Jody.
This will be meme enough. I won't have to retouch it.
Oh, Leia said she's going to start throwing things at me here. So she's very, apparently very interested in doing the Zombieland. But here's a hot, here's the hottest meme I think that we have from the HRCC right now. So let me actually pull this up. Hold on, where is it? It's in Ham Memes. If you go to hashtag Ham Memes, there was a joke we did, Leia and I, on the podcast, where instead of Baywatch, it's Bandwatch. And somebody ran with that, and they put Gordon West's head on the rock. And my head is on is that the guy from High School Musical? Is that what that is in the movie they did? That's fantastic. So Bandwatch, there you go. There it is. That's what Bandwatch looks like. A yoked Gordon West. Totally awesome. That is the best,
Josh.
Man.
We all know that's what Gordon really looks like.
That's what he really looks like. That is true. If you take the tuxedo off, that's straight up what he's looking like. So you go in here. So I double clicked on Bandwatch. Oh, I should go back to. Is anybody transmitting? No, nobody's transmitting at me. Hold on. Okay, so I'll transmit into this then. So let's go in there and edit it. I'm gonna hit edit and remove the CQ because I don't necessarily want anybody to reply to me right now. And then let's bring the call sign up right there and hit OK. Okay, there you go. So I can transmit. Here you go. You ready? You got everything all queued up? Here it goes. We're transmitting memes.
So this might not come across, but that's a solid S9 SSTV signal up here in Northern California.
Oh, look at Jody drops the receive side. You got your shift all screwed up there, bud. Auto shift.
Yeah, it's actually better than it was, even with the auto shift.
Oh, okay. I can hear it but can't decode it. Yeah, SSTV is weird like that. Like it's kind of odd. Like SSTV is one of those modes where somebody's talking back. Maybe we'll see. SSTV is one of those modes where you have to. Oh yeah, is that? Oh, it's still going. Am I not done? Oh, okay, now I'm done. SSTV is one of those modes where you have to have a pretty good signal to get out pretty well.
Really?
But I
'Cause
will
I've gotten
say,
out on pretty bad signal before.
I will say, I think I might have been the only person to ever do like a giveaway over SSTV. I had images of like an Amazon gift number, and I sprayed it out over SSTV, and someone got it. So I gave away something over SSTV, which, oh, there you go, Jody. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good, man. Why is it all shifted weird?
Yeah, I'm pulling off my Kiwi, so it's processor limited probably.
Okay.
It's not a PC.
Okay. So we're doing Martin 2. Martin 2 is the transmission mode that I'm using, just for spoiler alert for anybody.
Someone's coming back.
Somebody's coming back, but they're using a weird mode. Not fantastic. We'll see.
They're using Scotty 2.
Scotty 2's in here. No, that's not the right accent. That's not good. I did actually, Chris. Boy howdy, I used to do everything on the Mac, and I did have an SSTV. Everything transmitter, receiver, and I don't remember what the heck it was. You might. I don't think Rumlog NG does it.
I just answered him. Black Cat Systems.
Yeah, but will it transmit?
Yes. Yes.
I literally, before the live stream, I started transmitting memes over SSTV, and I got so many people started on SSTV before I went live. It was wild. Just start sending memes. Just go nuts. Like one of my favorites is the watching two dudes fight on 7.200 megahertz. So funny. Too much RF. Like should have used a calculator. It's so good.
I have a challenge for you and anyone else who wants it, because we're at the right time for it. Try SSTV on 10 meters once a day for a month and see who you get and see where you get. My first try on 10 meters, I got to Spain and back with a QSO.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive.
And
Good
that
job.
was in February.
I don't have one on yet. My son's asking me about Meshtastic right now. I don't think the node's on right now.
Yeah, Leia said earlier that Ben wanted the LilyGo.
I don't have a LilyGo. That's well, I have a LilyGo, but that's not.
What's a LilyGo?
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Go back inside. I'm wrapping up here shortly. Just trying to do some hot memes over RF here. So all right, here we go.
Now, Josh, did you ever find out anything about why Meshtastic was kind of overloaded?
I did, and I made a video on it. I recorded it today, actually. Yes. So the short answer is, if you live in an area, spoiler to my whole video that I'm going to put out next week or sometime. So the short answer is, I contacted the devs. I gave them all my logs, and a ton of YouTubers gave me their logs as well, so shout out to them. So the short answer is two things. When you live in a highly congested... Ah! Oh, no! I just got shot with a freaking Nerf gun. Leia shot it! Close the door. No, close the door. I have no defense. You hit me in the hand. I literally am holding up my. That's how accurate she is. She hit me in the head from.
It was on cam.
Close the door, please. Just let me finish. Gee, please let me finish, and then we'll play around with Meshtastic. Stop. I put my hand up. I put my hand up, and she hit my hand. That's how accurate she is. She's a very good shot, by the way. You could probably go back 10 years ago and find a video of her shooting a revolver and just killing it. That's a video that exists on my my YouTube channel, if you want to go back that far. Okay, so Meshtastic. 3 things. First thing, turn off MQTT. If you are in a heavy dense node environment. So Thursday, before everybody rolled in, MQTT was great. We were talking to people outside the state. Everybody was chatting it up. It was a great time. But once everybody rolled in with 100+ nodes, MQTT killed it. Like just killed it. Turn MQTT off. No one should have MQTT on if there's that big like a dense environment. That's the big one. The second one is lower, like this is pretty much an overhaul of your entire channel network. Instead of using your 0 primary channel as long fast, reduce it down to medium fast or short fast. Now, I can demonstrate this actually using this waterfall above my head. Long, short, and long, medium, short is basically the length of time it takes, like if you're looking at a waterfall, for it to complete the transmission. So long is in reference to how long it takes to complete the transmission. So it's like versus medium's like and short's like So if you keep it short, all your channels, all of them, medium or short, you will have a larger link budget to be able to transmit more information. So because we were all on long fast, all of our nodes were like, hello, I'm KI6NAZ. This is my Meshtastic node. Thanks for talking to me. Versus, hello, I'm KI6NAZ. Welcome to my node. I'm done. That whole aspect of it, if you just adjust the speed, changes it, or the length, changes how many contacts you could get in to an incredible degree. So just overhaul the entire channel structure. Break all of them away, get rid of the primary, particularly if you think it's going to be dense. Go to medium at least, medium fast. And then the last one was take your number of hops from 3 to like 2 or maybe even 1. Because if you're in that dense of an environment, you're hitting everybody with 1 hop. You don't need 2 hops. You don't need 3 hops. You're good. You're getting out. You're all local. We're all communicating. We can just do that. If you add multiple hops, you're retransmitting over and over again, and that's totally killing the transmissions. And so what we experienced was that like we could hear everybody. Everybody was all connected. We're all meshed up. The problem was is that so many of these nodes are like going, hello, I am this node. Hello, I am this node. Hello, I am this node. And that left no ability for us to like transmit and say like, hey, we're going to the troll pub now. You want to come? I'm driving. Right? Like that's the problem. Is that the link budget all got filled up with this just maintaining the node status of all these they have a name for it. They have a name. It's not a packet. It's a chirp. I think it's a chirp on LoRa. Is that what it is?
So what I'm hearing, the devs can probably take this information and maybe do automatic rollback. They'll sense from the error logs and the retries that there's just congestion, and then roll their settings back to a less promiscuous mode. That might just solve that issue.
Well, yeah, but then that implies like auto software capability, which this does not have. Like Meshtastic does not have that baked in right now. So like that's up to us as we are administrators of the network we're building. So the best thing to do is just blow out all the channels, rebuild something as like medium fast or short fast, and then use that. That's the way to handle it.
And it'll be interesting what the actual limit is. I think you said about 150 people at once. Well, is 100 still safe in using the long settings, or where's the cutoff where you have to make that change?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good question I didn't ask. Is like, what's the point where we have to cut over from long to medium at that point? Because yeah, we were dense. And so I asked them, I'm like, is this like the heaviest load you've ever experienced? They're like, no. The heaviest loads is DEF CON, Coachella, and Burning Man. Which totally makes sense if you think about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, those people are going to be all wrapped up in some kind of off-grid solution. So, yeah, I and even urban nodes in some, like urban areas in some cases, totally saturated.
That's cool. Look forward to the video.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So, yeah, that'll be probably next week or the week after. But, yeah. At one point, I had 250-something nodes on the list of all the nodes that I heard. And we were on long fast, which that's still pretty impressive that we pulled in all of them. So, yeah. Well, I think I'm at the end of my my rope here because I'm going to start getting unloaded on. So I think I'll probably wrap up here. Let's take a last quick round on the Discord. Did anybody not get a question answered, or they weren't able to say hi or do something like that? If you're a first timer, we'd like to get you in there. Welcome you back next week. This week was a little crazy, a little bit different than we normally do, but I want to make sure we hear you and we help you out. So anybody in there, anywhere, go ahead.
What is the normal time that you usually do this on Saturdays? I just came across you.
Oh, well, that's amazing. Great question. So my live stream is always 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and my goal is to generally have 1 hour of a condensed amateur radio focused talk that we do. And then after that, we come over here on the Discord, which is where you joined us. So thank you. You made it. So in the after chat, we go for many hours, and our normal goal is just an open forum discussion on whatever you want to talk about. Questions, anything we can answer, we go nuts. We go way, way deep into wherever you want to go. If we have to do math, we'll do math. We don't care. That usually goes from 6:15 to 6:30 p.m. until like 9 or 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Does that help?
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, everybody, I had a lot of fun tonight. I thought the Long Island CW Club was Mick, do you have anything to say? Or Mike or Mick or...
Actually, one more question, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I kind of live in an apartment complex, and I got a lot of trees around me, so I'm not sure that my apartment would be a good place to transmit. Would I be able to go to, like, outside clear area, or what would I do?
Well, a tree is nature's antenna mast, if you think about it. So, no, absolutely. We put antennas in trees, and we do our best in the areas we have. And the always thing I tell people is don't get caught up in thinking about it so much and just try it. Try to put the antenna up. Try to see how it sounds. And if you found out it's not a great antenna, well, no love lost. So just move that new antenna that you made off to a different tree or a different antenna mast, and you'll get on the air that way.
Okay, one more, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
What was the radio? I know you said it was a bag fag or
a bag fag. A bag fag. You got that bag fag radio? Let's go. I want that $18 bag fag. I like it.
5R, 4 meter or 4 watt radio. Where is it at on?
I got that link for you especially. That was a special link for you.
Let me grab it.
Hold on.
Okay, I didn't see it.
It's all right. It's that boofwang over on the YouTubes. Hold on. Where is it? You got
I
it?
just dropped your shop link. Let me find the actual.
Oh yeah, the shop link. That's right. Yeah, go to the show. Okay, well, hold on. Let's just
Yeah,
pull it.
because I'm going to need the extended. I'm going to want to get the extended, the extra long antenna and everything. So, all that good stuff. And
There we
maybe
go. I just dropped the booth wing exactly from your shop.
in the YouTube.
In the live stream chat, it does go across to the YouTube as well.
I thought I had a playlist that was particularly
Booth wing
just the
0
booth
to
wing.
hero. Yeah, go down. Yeah, right there. No, booth wing. You have it as Baofeng 0 to hero.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, that's pretty deep down there. Yep, that's it.
But there is a extended battery for it, like a 3800.
Yeah, it's all right here. It's all right here. It's all right here. That's it, man. Hold on, let me. I'll double drop the link. So this is literally all the things you need. Like it's all right here. So that is the Abri. If you want to do that, you don't have to get that. I would probably go with the Nagoya if you want to. But the Baofeng is now $17.50. It's $17.49, which is absolutely insane. I do like the Meerkit multi-pack because it's like 6 radios in one that you can communicate with. Survival antenna, sure. Maybe not. $72, that's too expensive. The Nagoya and then the Extendo batteries are right here. There you go. It's all right there. All of it right there. There you go.
And I will say this, Wiz Nation, even after Josh leaves, there's a handful of us that stick around and can answer more questions that, we're not on live stream, but we can answer your questions anytime.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that because I got a few more questions. I just don't want to take up any more of his time because I actually found one that has 2 radios, but it is the UVR5R, which is what you're telling me to get, but it's got the radios, the chargers, the extra antenna, the longer antenna, and I believe the cable for the radio for chirp.
Okay, so let me answer this question because a lot of people fall in this trap. So those bundles generally do not give you the FTDI cable you need to do the programming. They give you a programming cable, but it's not the FTDI programming cable. You want an FTDI chip because Windows just acknowledges it and you don't need drivers. If you go with that other option, you're going to have to load some kind of weird bastardized drivers that let it run on your computer. You can do that. If you want to save some bucks and go that route, that's fine. I don't recommend that, and I don't have tutorials on how to make the bastardized drivers work, so you're kind of on your own if you go that route. This is the route I go, all this stuff right here. In fact, I'm gonna edit this because I want to get rid of this. I got to get rid of that antenna thing. I think that's too expensive for that antenna. I'm gonna have to get rid of that.
The reason why I would need one of these is because I'm an affiliate with the Salvation Army. That's a church I go to, and they do emergency disaster work. So I would want to get on their Saturn communications part of it. That's why I would want the radio.
Yeah, that's fine.
Once I get my license, of course, because I know it's against the law to transmit without a license, correct?
Yeah. Definitely get your license, of course. Like, literally everything on this list is great except for that survival antenna pack-up thing. I think that used to be a J-pole. I think they swapped the listing. So just avoid that, and everything else here is like everything I talked about on another video. If you go to my 0 to hero in 60 minutes on a Baofeng, that's where this video comes from.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Guys, I got to head out because I'm going to get shot again with Nerf if I don't. So I appreciate you. I do. And let's get out of that for a second. I do have a lot of fun doing this, and I have to say the live stream we did today with the Long Island CW Club is ranking up there with some of the best we've done. competitive with the Tamitha Scove. I don't think it beats Tamitha per se, but I had a lot of fun making it. So I'm glad you watched. I hope you had fun. And I will talk to you real soon. 73, everybody. Take it easy.
73, Josh.
There it is.
73.
All right. We're off the Discord. Now I can tell you what I really think. No, I'm just kidding. Have a great rest of your long weekend. I hope you take a moment to support the troops and everybody who gave the most to protect our liberty and what we have, because I don't think we take enough time, even in one weekend, to appreciate the history of our nation and everything that we have because of people who gave the ultimate cost to protect us. So enjoy your weekend, but understand where it comes from. That should be a celebration of some of the most important people that have come before us. 73, and I will talk to you very soon. See ya. No song, just reflecting. Thank you, everybody. Take it easy.